You were clearly one of the strongest people in the tower, yet you silently carried out missions for 50 years. To hide your identity, you even specifically wore a cheap mask. But after dying, you accidentally discovered that you had transmigrated into a piece of trash 20 years later. Moreover, all the citizens here are disappointed. They used to worship you like a god. To understand the reason, we must go back to the conquest of the tower's 8th floor. The scene was utterly chaotic at the tower, floor 8, the Deathlands. Urgent, rushing footsteps pressed on like the rhythm of breathing. Soldiers disciplinedly followed right behind Kazuki. Suddenly, he stopped and raised his hand to signal everyone. With a serious expression, Kazuki announced, "Today we are here to do something unprecedented. Conquer the 8th floor guardian. Don't be slow just because this is an alliance raid. If we don't clear this place, the 9th floor will remain a mystery forever." Suddenly, the soldiers stepped aside to create a path. His eyes narrowed for a moment. "Look who's here." Seeing the group approaching, Kazuki instantly recognized the Blue Eyes Guild. One man among them was wearing a mask. Kazuki put on his trademark smile and warmly went to greet Subaru. Subaru replied politely, "Sorry to keep everyone waiting." Kazuki smiled and shook his hand. "Waiting? You're the first one here." Subaru was curious. "I heard even the martial arts team is participating today," Kazuki exclaimed. "Anyway, Narukami Subaru is the leader here. I'm sure they just want to pick up whatever scraps you leave behind." At that moment, Subaru gripped the hilt of his sword and spoke. "If they just want to pick up scraps," Subaru said meaningfully, "then I have something right here." And then he dropped a glowing object into Kazuki's hand. A status window suddenly appeared, "Blessing of the Archangel." Kazuki wondered, "This is..." Subaru explained, "I plan to finish this raid perfectly, but just in case, you should keep that with you." Kazuki hesitated, "But you need this more than I do." Subaru cut in, "Besides, after this battle, do you want to return to Blue Eyes?" Subaru emphasized, "You can return it to me then." At that moment, Kazuki lowered his eyes, a strange feeling rising in his heart. Subaru patted his shoulder and reassured him, "Well, if you don't want to return it, you can keep it forever." In this moment, a loud noise occurred, startling both of them into looking. Subaru warned, "It's coming." Kazuki was surprised. It's revealing itself this early. In the moment of preparing for the historic battle, everyone gathered. "Floor 8 Guardian." He hurriedly shouted an order, "Prepare for impact." The poison dragon Hydra appeared with its grotesque heads and began attacking everyone. Subaru looked up to observe and sighed softly, "A mutated monster." Subaru's hand was overwhelmed with dark energy. "It makes my skin crawl." The system announced energy running through Subaru's entire body. His voice coldly announced, "Today will be the day you die." The eyes of the poison dragon Hydra glanced at Subaru. Immediately after, they all began to roar, condensing into a blue sphere. Kazuki panicked and shouted directions. "It's preparing to unleash its breath." Everyone stepped back. But Subaru stepped up to stop him. "No need." Looking at the rampaging monster, Kazuki asked in confusion, "What are you saying?" The poison dragon Hydra combined its power, its roar echoing through the space. At that moment, Subaru touched his hand to his sword and decisively drew it. Finally, Subaru slashed into the space, carrying dark power. Two massive sources of power, good and evil, clashed directly. Kazuki glanced over and exclaimed, "Subaru, you never change." Chino skipped over praising, "Amazing, Subaru, your training sessions really work." Seeger touched his neck and complained, "Damn it, I was a step too slow. I wanted to land the first strike." Raina looked up and asked, "Hey, what did you give Kazuki just now?" Subaru replied vaguely, "You'll find out soon enough." Subaru looked up and asked, "Is everyone ready? We're going to kill this oversized lizard and clear floor 8. Immediately, everyone rushed up to attack the monster together. Only Kazuki was left standing and watching. He indifferently muttered, "Look how united they are." At that moment, someone approached from behind and said, "Just as planned. The hidden soldiers are in position." Kazuki turned back with a faint smile, "Excellent. Then, let's start right now." Someone accepted, "Understood." The mysterious person continued, "May luck favor you." Kazuki turned back to glance at the battle in front of him with an emotionless attitude. Her back was slender, hair fluttering in the storm. And then they all rushed up to attack the monster in unison. The poison dragon Hydra widened its glowing red eyes and opened its giant mouth to shoot lightning. Its face was ferocious with sharp teeth. Raina approached it, but Seeger shouted to stop her. "Hey, don't just slash without saying anything like that." At that moment, she glanced back and saw a cold, sharp blade. Raina remarked, "Are you really still not used to how I work?" But still, he shouted back, "You have to be a little careful." Isaac rushed up challenging, "Tashia, want to see who deals the most damage?" A stream of red light spread through the space along with the beast roar. They each attacked from one side. The guy grumpily said, "If that's how it is then." Isaac reminded, "The loser buys dinner." He smiled confidently as he unleashed a powerful sword strike. Watching the monster fall, Isaac spoke, "Sorry, Chino." She focused on radiating power and replied, "Don't worry about me, just keep attacking." Chino focused on creating a giant shield. "Leave the defense to me." At that moment, Kazuki stepped up from behind calling her name, startling her. "Chino, do you think you can defend against this too?" Immediately after, she was attacked unexpectedly before she could defend herself. Kazuki's voice rang out coldly, "Seriously, this is the price for being too arrogant." Realizing something was wrong, Subaru turned his head when he heard a broken voice call out, "Subaru." Chino's body staggered before collapsing to the ground. With his own eyes, Subaru saw him standing there with a cold smile. Subaru's eyes immediately bulged with terrifying veins, showing the rage in his mind. Kazuki spoke provocatively, "Subaru, you don't have time to look elsewhere." At that moment, the poison dragon Hydra had gotten close to him. Subaru's voice was pained as he questioned, "Kazuki, why?" In the dark space, a system panel appeared. "You have been chosen by the tower. Climb the tower and prepare for the beginning that will happen soon." A message was sent to all players, the first message from the tower. Was it a challenge, or perhaps a blessing? Even now, the true purpose of that message remains a mystery. We don't even know who left it or for what purpose. We simply followed that irresistible command, and just like that, we aimed for the top of the tower, a place no one had ever reached before. Earth, Murim, Runetera, Elfridge, Lucan. People from different dimensions, each carrying their own burdens. Today, we continue climbing the tower. The sky was no longer blue but covered in layers of smoke and dust. The poison dragon hydras lay scattered on the cold ground. When the battle ended, it was also when the heroes sacrificed themselves. Subaru was exhausted, gasping for breath in the freezing space. At the floor 8 boss, Hydra, his voice rang out with sorrow and resentment. "I told you guys to run, but you didn't listen." They finally took down the monster rumored to be indestructible. Subaru looked at his fallen teammates and muttered bitterly, "I don't remember giving you permission to die." Those who fought side by side were gone. He cursed painfully, "You idiots." The system sound rang continuously, "Status, you are poisoned. Natural recovery disabled. Fatigue 94. If he could go back, Subaru knew exactly what they would say. It asked, "You will die if fatigue reaches 100. As expected of Subaru Narukami, the Thunder Lord. However, he looked at the ringleader and asked softly, "You? Why did you do this?" Seeing his smile, Subaru screamed in rage, "Answer me, Kazuki Kyozo." Kazuki stood up and sat down in front of him. "It's been 10 years. Subaru. I've run towards today for 10 long years. You, and everyone else, should understand. This was the only way I could defeat you. If I didn't attract your attention, your precious Blue Eyes Guild would have gotten in the way, right? You have no idea how much the things you gave me weighed on me. So, I chose the world instead of you." His voice was suppressed as he said, "That's all it is. It's a pity I had to do this, but I finally see the end. That's right. I guess I don't need to return this anymore. After all, Blue Eyes will disappear along with you. Don't be so sad. Even when you die, you will still be remembered as a hero. You won't be able to verify that anyway." Subaru's voice rang out low and deep. Until the very end, you only hear what you want. Trying to suppress his emotions, his hand clawed tightly into the dirt. Subaru glanced at the scene before him and fell into thought. At this rate, his eyes became tense. "I can't survive. But that doesn't mean I'll die meaninglessly like this." At that moment, Kazuki turned his head, his eyes filled with horror. He shouted, "Impossible." At that moment, the system panel appeared. Ellis, legendary rank. Subaru rushed forward and shouted firmly, "It still works. You think it's out of uses? I won't let you know, you piece of trash." System, remaining uses, 4. He told himself, "I can use it for more times." Subaru determined, and there are 4 Blue Eyes members still alive. He attacked while hoping, at least everyone can return. Kazuki shouted angrily, "Chase them, hurry up, don't let anyone survive." One of them quickly waved his hand to direct, "Go, quickly." In the vast space, a large magic circle appeared in the center. With blood still staining the corner of his mouth, Subaru shouted, "No." He raised his hand high, radiating energy. "You lot stay here with me." Status panel, fatigue is extremely high. Fatigue has increased to 95%. Thunderlord's resistance is limited. And then Subaru chose to unleash his power. Thunderlord descends. He said in annoyance, Subaru, you really are a stubborn guy, aren't you? His body almost reached its limit. Fatigue has increased to 96. His voice rang out coldly. I don't know what Kyozo promised you people to make you do this, but I hope you're prepared to pay with your lives. From this moment on, no one leaves without my permission. Seeing that scene, the hostile faction began to get tense. At this rate, and then they decided to rush in. All or nothing. Swords were raised high, ready to strike, preparing for battle. Subaru told himself, normally, I wouldn't lose to trash like this. He gripped the weapon in his hand and spun it a few times. But if Kazuki acts, it will be a different story. Dealing with these guys is already tiring. The problem is my fatigue. Subaru was tired, his mind in turmoil. I can't last much longer. In a moment of distraction, he was attacked from behind. Subaru's face grimaced, blood spewing uncontrollably from his mouth. The status panel warned, fatigue has increased to 98. Subaru struggled with all his might to turn and counterattack. The scene was chaotic, with massive wounds. Light gradually shone upon the sorrowful space. His feet were exhausted, the sword falling right beside him. Kazuki shouted in joy, we did it. We killed Subaru Narukami. But Subaru appeared right next to him and asked coldly, who did you say you killed? His body quickly released a massive amount of lightning. That person's body was instantly incinerated, his eyes rolling back white. After the lightning dissipated, he immediately fell to the ground. Subaru gripped the sword in his body tightly. Subaru had also reached his limit, slowly kneeling down. People spoke up, he fell, did we get him? Kazuki hid in the crowd observing that monster. Subaru didn't expect his era to end so simply. The system continuously warned, fatigue has increased to 99, danger. Fatigue is extremely high. You will die if fatigue reaches 100. In Subaru's mind, he thought, Kazuki, you should know better than anyone. His legs could no longer support him, sinking to the end. Suddenly, Subaru shouted loudly, preparing to throw his sword. I will win. His eyes carried gloominess from hatred. While he was thinking, my condolences. System, blessing of the Archangel. I will survive with this. At that moment, Kazuki's eyes widened in horror. Subaru's blade flew in front of his face in an instant, amidst his shock. Impossible. Subaru determined, in the end, I will be the winner. Saying cool lines like that while looking so pathetic, Kazuki. Wait, I wanted to at least see him die before I go. The final thunder flash must have hit. But it's strange to be thinking about this on the verge of death. Will I be stuck in this state forever? This itself is torture. What is it? What is the smell? Smell, I can smell. Could it be? In a garbage dump, a lid fell down making a loud noise. Subaru was sitting in a smelly dumpster. He glanced around and asked in confusion, is this hell? A status panel appeared right before his eyes. Name, Subaru Hosoi. Origin, Earth. He fell into confusion. Subaru Hosoi. What the hell? What kind of trash status panel is this? At that moment, Subaru roared in anger. The name doesn't fit the face at all. And from Earth, nothing but trash. The people around whispered, what are you doing there? Just here to make us look better. He realized, exactly. Subaru Narukami was an anomaly. Trying to get half of myself from 20 years ago, huh? Subaru Narukami died 20 years ago. Then this body is. Subaru dazedly climbed out of the trash can. Are you kidding me? Is this a dream? At that moment, he fell to the ground with a sharp pain. Subaru looked at the item in front of him with rising suspicion. He picked up the player device, right? If I use this. Subaru quickly operated it. Search, Blue Eyes. Information appeared. Blue Sky. The successor of Blue Eyes lacks power. The secret behind the name Blue Sky. Blue Sky continues to grow, inheriting the will of Subaru Narukami and Blue Eyes today. Guildmaster Kyozo. We will win the next tournament. Discussion about the heroic spirit of Blue Eyes on that day 20 years ago. He couldn't believe it. Impossible. Subaru looked at the face of the person in the picture in panic. He's not dead. The person on the screen was familiar to him, Kazuki. Kazuki Kyozo from the start. They weren't enemies. Subaru recalled the conversation back then. What's wrong? Calling me out at this hour? He replied, Subaru. I'm considering leaving Blue Eyes. He wondered, What? So sudden, Kazuki suggested. I want you to break the news to the others from me. Friends, at least, Subaru used to think Kazuki was one. He spoke. You'll understand the reason eventually. Don't worry. Even when I leave, I'll still be your shadow. A few years later, Kazuki formed a guild and appeared before him again. He used a name they used to joke about. Blue Sky. That was the name of the shadow he talked about. But he's still on floor 9. That means he hasn't achieved anything in 20 years. Suddenly, Subaru's eyes froze. News board. Crowds visit the memorial. Subaru Narukami Memorial Hall. Memories that haven't faded even after 20 years. He started. My memorial hall? Subaru stood in front of the door of the Subaru Narukami Memorial Hall. He was shocked. Unbelievable. Subaru evaluated. This building is more impressive than I thought. A mask was placed in a prominent position. Everyone present was looking with intense focus. Subaru, in a daze, asked himself, remembering me? What for? He moved with heavy steps in confusion, his eyes darting everywhere. Subaru wondered, who? And for what purpose? Why do this? A voice rang out, causing Subaru a headache. He is a role model for all of us, always. The hero of the Blue Eyes Guild, the one who created the undefeated legend. The man closest to the top of the tower, Subaru Narukami. Together with all my teammates, to remember him forever. His eyes filled with horror. Are you kidding me? Kazuki's voice echoed. We established this memorial hall. Subaru was furious, veins popping on his neck as he thought, you. Kazuki said, Subaru Narukami and Blue Eyes are no more. However, Blue Sky is the only guild remaining that inherits their noble spirit. His hand clenched into a fist as he shouted, shut up. Don't speak nonsense. Just killing me wasn't enough for you. If that's the case, I'll have to meet your expectations. He continued his sermon. Narukami and Blue Eyes will never return. Subaru gritted his teeth. Just you wait. Kazuki used a fake sympathetic look. We will never forget them. His mind resisted that memory. I will rewrite it from the beginning. Subaru looked up at the sky and pondered. I won't let him pull that crap ever again. I won't let this second chance go to waste. Suddenly, in that moment, someone grabbed his leg tight. Subaru supported the weak body of that person and stood up. Suddenly he shook that person and called out, hey? As soon as that person looked up, Subaru was horrified. My mask. Suddenly the people ran over saying, I'm sorry, are you okay? Minato, are you alright? Don't worry. We just bumped into each other a little. Are you sure you're not hurt? He fell into confusion. Even these people. Subaru looked around in horror. What the hell? He panicked and quickly rubbed his eyes. Subaru's eyes widened in terror. What the hell is this? Everyone around was wearing his mask from his past life. What on earth is going on here? Kazuki's voice rang out coldly. It's a pity things turned out like this. Don't be so sad. Even when you die, you will still be regarded as a historical hero. Subaru suddenly realized. Is this what you meant? His eyes became incredibly sharp and vengeful. Kyozo. Subaru walked straight towards the people in the crowd. In front of him was his own portrait placed amidst fresh flowers. Subaru thought, is all of this just a way for him to claim the glory of Blue Eyes for himself? Suddenly his eyes shifted from hatred to astonishment. Before him were white chrysanthemums glowing with blue light. Subaru's eyes widened, reflecting the scene. He was pushed violently in the crowd, trying to dodge. People shouted in annoyance, hey, watch where you're going. Wait for your turn. Subaru walked straight towards his portrait like a soulless person. He reached out his hand and touched the light directly. Subaru, shocked, asked himself, is it you, Seeger Asagiri? Scene change. Someone was standing on a rooftop looking down at the city. Seeger spoke. We made it through this year's anniversary too. The woman behind replied, speaking of freedom, if we were a little later, we would have run into Blue Sky. Besides, is it really necessary to do this every anniversary? Just leaving chrysanthemums is enough. He gently took off his hat and responded, you never know what might happen. Subaru might recognize the flowers we bring. She wondered, you really think that kid is still alive? Seeger replied, I haven't confirmed it with my own eyes yet. Raina reminded, instead of us finding Subaru, Kazuki finding our location is probably faster. Besides, if Subaru was really alive, we wouldn't have had to stand by and watch everything crumble for 20 years, idiot. The sunset sky with birds flying. Subaru was in a corner, crying ceaselessly like a child. His feet became tense. She is really. Subaru sank into thought, really alive. He clutched the flower in his hand and called Seeger's name. This is the room Subaru Hosoi used. Turns out he was poor. Searches for Blue Eyes brought up no results. Subaru dropped the computer onto the bed. But Seeger is definitely still alive. She's still here. Yet she has to hide. Is Kyozo the source of this? Given his personality, he wouldn't let anyone be at peace if they knew the truth. Did Seeger really survive alone? I'm not sure if all four of them were blown away back then. But as long as Kyozo is alive and well, contacting each other right now is no different from suicide. Moreover, I'm powerless right now. Pushing myself will only make me an easy target. He looked at the mask and the flower on the table and told himself, first. Subaru looked at his hand. I need to regain my strength. Then he gripped his sword tightly, relying on Subaru Hosoi's memory. In 2 days, the tutorial to become a player will begin. He stroked the sword and fell into contemplation. If I can survive. Subaru's eyes became firm. As long as we survive, we can meet again anytime. Scene shifts to the tutorial testing hall. Huka stood with crossed arms, looking extremely strict. A person who had just gone through training was soaked in exhaustion. He approached and said coldly, You passed, but do you want to continue to the next part? The other person replied with a stutter, Next. He became tense, staring at the system panel. System panel, do you want to continue to the next challenge? He shouted, Never. I won't do that. Are you crazy? No way I can beat 3 of them at once. Huka shouted back, Keep it down, I have a headache. I'll fail you. As he vanished, he hurriedly asked, But I still passed, right? He complained, that kid, he could only get that far in the tutorial. I didn't expect to have to let that weakling pass. Isaac, Reinhardt's son. Except for him passing stage 20, no candidate here looks promising. Sigh. The standards for this tutorial test are pathetic. The quality of recruits is hitting rock bottom. Suddenly, his eyes glued to the screen. Someone stepped forward dragging a sword on the ground. Huka noted, That's a name that carries weight. Well, of course, that only means something if you pass. All right then. At that moment, Subaru waited for the system with a cold face. Announcement generated to goblins. Please eliminate the goblins. He urged, Start this test right now. Before Huka could finish speaking, he rushed forward fast as the wind. He looked up in surprise. Did something just fly past? Before Huka could react, he saw Subaru destroying the monsters. He chuckled. Using today's to test this body's limits was correct. The body I woke up in is pretty amazing. System, you want to continue to the next challenge? He accepted, of course. I don't have time for this, so let's get this over with as fast as possible. He saw that scene and screamed softly in shock. Right at Huga's feet now was a monster's head. He was horrified by what was happening before his eyes. What the hell is going on? Huga stood frozen, observing Subaru's actions. His eyes were shocked. He's not swinging the sword wildly. He predicts the opponent's moves too. No, 3 steps ahead. Subaru's hand gripped the sword tightly, knuckles popping. Huga evaluated. That's not just the caliber of a good swordsman. Even I can't move like that. Unless he's the reincarnation of Subaru Narukami. The sword in his hand powerfully and decisively took down the monsters. Subaru's cold eyes swept over the monsters. System, you have completed stage 49. You want to challenge the final boss. He sighed and urged, Right now. The space shook once again right at Subaru's position. The ground began to crack with strange white veins. A giant hand emerged from beneath the ground. He shouted anxiously, Hey, idiot, wait. You're not Narukami, if you value your life. Stop right here. The monster roared. It was the Goblin King. System panel appeared. Sensing the sacrifice at step 49, the Goblin King has been enraged. Huga screamed, Give up, before it's too late. Fighting the Goblin King is too risky. This is suicide. Don't be greedy. No matter how skilled you are, you can't close the stat gap. But Subaru's eyes were resolute. I know that. With my stats, I can barely deal any damage to him. He tightened his grip on the sword. Even so. Then he spoke clearly, I refuse. Suddenly, Subaru threw the sword to the ground, making Huga hold his head and scream. Why did he drop his weapon? Is he crazy? I knew there was something wrong with him from the start. But now, the Goblin King is rushing towards him. An arrow shot straight, embedding itself in its leg. Its face suddenly changed color. Subaru crouched down, his hands holding tight to poison arrows, surprised. The Goblin King saw this, but still didn't understand what was happening. Subaru continued, Let's make a bet. Whether you take me down first, or I turn you into a honeycomb first. Without another word, Subaru rushed forward once again. Seeing this, the Goblin King roared furiously, You'll pay for this. It also quickly rushed towards him. Its legs ran swiftly, arm raised high intending to strike him down. The two attacked each other. Subaru with his agile movements. He quickly dodged its attacks. He remembered the time he used to train before. Subaru continuously threw darts but missed the center. At that time, a girl walked up and said, You can't throw it like that, Ms. Raina. Anything, then. Raina stood in to demonstrate for Subaru. While throwing darts, she explained, Instructions can become hidden weapons if you grasp their center of gravity. And so, the dart she threw hit the bullseye. And now, he used the technique Raina taught to throw right into the monster's throat. Then dozens of other darts stuck into its body. Subaru said smugly. Power is proportional to rotational force, and precision is inversely proportional to hesitation. That's what Ms. Raina taught me. Huka stood by silently thinking. The goblin's anger and poison needles won't disappear until the challenge ends. I didn't expect him to use a mechanic I looked down on like this. Not just swordsmanship to slash goblins, but throwing techniques to pierce opponents with hidden weapons. Thinking this, he voiced out. He is a genius. Genius, no. Does such a word cover it all? The Goblin King's body was now covered in wounds. It lost all ability to fight and collapsed. At this moment, Subaru quickly picked up the sword. He spoke, I hold no grudge against you. Finished speaking, he delivered a fatal blow to it. Finally, the system panel appeared. You have defeated the Goblin King. You have completed the tutorial stage 50 for the first time. It's still just a tutorial. Don't slash a monster like that in the training phase. Level up, gain reputation, gain achievement points. Unlock tutorial shop. This shop can only be used during this phase. With the points I have, what can I buy? Current achievement points, 2,425. He went from one surprise to another. I've never even seen the shop. Open tutorial shop. Seems prices range from 5 to 200 points. I'll have plenty of points to spare. Just after pressing the button, Subaru's eyes widened. He muttered, I can even buy items like this. Nameless Demon Sword. Price, 1,000 achievement points. Rank, Sword. Type, Weapon. Consumes users' HP and spirit to enhance cutting power and physical ability. A failed work of blacksmith Kindred. It has no name. I didn't expect to meet a creation of Kindred here. It's extremely attractive, but to use a thunder attribute that consumes life force. Miranda Sword. Price, 1,400 achievement points. Rank, Sword. Type, Weapon. Reduces user fatigue accumulation and increases combat time. A mithril sword blessed by the sanctuary. Looking at the sword, Subaru couldn't help but be confused. I don't need a demon sword, but a sword. Should I prioritize destructive power and choose the demon sword? Or prioritize safety and choose the holy sword? He hesitated silently. Both are fine. How do I use these initial points? I need to choose carefully here. But then it hit him. Then he decided to choose again. Can I still switch? System panel appeared. Greed. Price, 1,400 achievement points. Rank F. Type, Skill, Level 1. Effect, nullifies side effects of skills and items used by the user. Rank and skill level can be upgraded. Required amount 10,000 C. Subaru's eyes were now wide with astonishment. I've never seen a skill with an effect like this. Maybe with the demon sword, no, it can even nullify the disadvantageous debuffs from lightning. System panel continuously appeared. Purchase skill greed. Minus 1,400 points. Purchase nameless demon sword. Minus 1,000 points. And he was extremely satisfied with this. Very worth it. He held the sword in his hand, swung it a few times, and exclaimed as expected. The skill and the demon's sword seemed to match very well. Instead of struggling with just one skill, using the demon's sword from the start, turns out he chose the demon's sword. Huka also walked up and said, Good choice. That skill and item are very compatible, however. As an instructor, I don't get it. I am Huka. Why did you choose that skill? I don't know if it's useful. And you aren't sure if it's effective either. Hearing this, Subaru retorted, You want me to explain every little detail. Suddenly, Huka got angry. Explain it. Is that what you want to ask? Talking politely is hard. You must be very tired after the test, so I'll let it slide this time. It's not like there's a special reason or anything. HMPH. At this point, he thought to himself, so that snot-nosed kid became an instructor. Then he remembered a young exorcist from before. I'm a fan. Can I get your autograph? Autograph? I don't have one. Just write your name then. My name is Hiroto. Remembering this, he started rambling in my time to become a player. Learning etiquette was the first step. Compared to that, young people these days become arrogant just because they have a little skill. I don't know how they were educated, but they hate losing out and only demand their rights. And instead of respecting elders, they call us old geezers. Times have changed. Just like the amount of hair on your head. Subaru also replied, Anyway, I don't intend to answer, so please keep the test results a secret. There he goes again, talking back with shallow knowledge picked up on the internet. Hearing this, Huka suddenly said smugly, All right. If that's the case, the manners you lack, I will personally train you from scratch. How about this? Do you intend to join the Knights Guild? No. Hey. It's rare for an instructor to personally recruit someone. Teleporting to floor 2. What? Wait, hold on. Stop, hey. However, Subaru still decisively left, and finally Subaru disappeared. Huka sighed tiredly. God, I'm so disappointed in you. After a while, Subaru landed in another place. Around him, voices were extremely chaotic. Floor 2. How about some fresh deep-sea fish from Renetta? Special dried meat. Come try some. Rookie Land. We have everything from fabrics made in Miriam to coats from Earth. I've returned to this place. I've seized an opportunity no one else has. Second attempt. Since I've experienced it once, I have to handle everything better than before. For the teammates waiting for me, and to avenge the horrific end we faced. A private training room for self-training and learning how to use new skills. Testing equipment durability, etc. Just as he arrived, an old man asked, "Which floor are you from?" Subaru quickly replied, "I just came up, a place frequented by all players." The old man pointed to guide him. "Then you should use training room 1. There's a straw dummy there." Hearing this, Subaru was a bit puzzled. "I'll use number 5. Number 5. The old man suddenly became grumpy. "I'll be honest. Don't do it. It's expensive, just use number 1. I appreciate your concern, just give me 30 minutes. Acting like he's the main character in a Korean drama. Whatever, suit yourself. No refund if you leave halfway through." System panel appeared. You used 50 credits. Remaining credits, 10,050 C. The higher the number, the harder the training room. And that's correct. For a player without proper equipment, being looked down upon is obvious. However, he still bravely stepped in. "Alright, then, let's start." And it was time for Subaru to be ready. He gripped the sword in his hand. A red light appeared and the system panel popped up. Nameless Demon's Sword has recognized the master. All skills temporarily increased. Absorbs users' HP and MP. Greed level 1 has rejected the backlash of the Nameless Demon's Sword. Some HP and MP have been recovered. Greed level 1 failed to reject the sword's backlash. Fatigue is gradually increasing. As expected, level 1 is still too weak, but just a little more. Nameless Demon's Sword has absorbed HP of the user. Ability increases proportionally to HP reduced. As the system panel read, the sword's power grew stronger, emitting a brilliant red light. But Subaru couldn't control it. "Is this my limit?" Still within expectations. You spent 10,000 credits. Skill level of Greed level 1 has increased. He planted the sword into the ground, panning ceaselessly. System panel appeared. Greed rank E classification. Skill, level 2. Prevents side effects of skills and items. Used by user. Credits required to level up. 20,000 C. Greed level to resisting Demon's Sword backlash. Greed level to resistance to Demon's Sword backlash partially successful. Nameless Demon's Sword has absorbed HP. Ability increased further. Success. At this point, Subaru's expression became even more determined, his eyes bloodshot. Subaru decided to rush in. "Time to test my strength." Back to the old man from earlier. He showed a bored attitude, sighing as he saw Subaru's silhouette pass by. Am I still dreaming or hallucinating? Seeing Subaru's blood-soaked figure walking away, he couldn't believe his eyes. Is that the kid who went into room 5 earlier? Feels like it hasn't even been 10 minutes. Then he knocked on the door calling out, "Hey, dreamy kid, are you still in there?" Hearing no response, he peeked his head in to look, and the scene before him made him jaw drop in surprise. What the hell happened here? The scene in front was utterly devastated. Switched to Subaru. He was stretching as he woke up. How long did I sleep? My body is still stiff. Then he sat up thinking, if I had a normally cursed sword, I would have cleared that room easier. The physical problem definitely increased, and I succeeded in bringing out the sword's power. Normally, with stats like this, name, Subaru Hosoi. Origin, Earth. Level 10, Strength 17, Ability 17, Endurance 16, Focus 18, Magic 8, Fatigue. I shouldn't even be able to lift the magic sword, let alone use it. He remembered the time he was fighting and thought, the synergy between greed and the sword is perfect, meaning a combination with books is also possible, but the next problem is the skill level. System panel appeared, Greed rank F classification, skill, level 2. Credits required to upgrade, 20,000 C. Remaining credits, 50 C. Am I always this poor? Looking at the system panel, Subaru looked depressed. Now I'm even having trouble with credit control. I've really hit a dead end. I mean, I also died, so this is understandable. Hey everyone, what's up? Suddenly a blonde guy walked up to talk to Subaru. I'm here to explore floor 2. Bringing back memories of when I was a new member on floor 2. Today's topic is items that keep up with youth trends. How much does it cost? Let's go. Alexandra donated 1,000 commemorative credits, received 1,000 credit points from Alexandra. Then he poured a cup of water over his own head and shouted, "That hurts, thank you very much." Subaru looked down, confused. What's wrong with that guy? Is he crazy? His eyes became suspicious. Then he picked up his phone to check the news. How to earn points. Now is the era of PvP. 1 in 3 players are live streaming. A fair chance to earn millions of credits. Live streaming. While watching, Subaru mumbled to himself, broadcasting live video in real time and collecting donations. So that's what that guy was doing. Subaru. Suddenly, Isaac walked up and asked, "You came to? Didn't expect to meet you here. Are you nearby?" Seeing the guy, Subaru turned pale. "No, my body is reacting automatically in a not-so-good way. Maybe we didn't have a good relationship." The guy continued, "Hey, your friend is talking to you. Don't ignore people. Feels like I'm talking to myself." This made him think, no, this isn't discomfort, it's... Then he stuttered, unable to speak. "I came here." How surprising. The guy heard that and sat down, speaking sarcastically. "Didn't expect a weakling like you to pass the tutorial test. I thought a goblin would kill you. I remember now." At this moment, Subaru suddenly recalled the time he begged the guy, "Isaac, why are you doing this? Huh? Why? Don't make me calm down with such a serious face. Your name annoys me, and you can't even follow basic instructions. You can't even do what you're told. You're trying to show that you have no parents to teach you and you have a head like snow. That matter. The credits you gave me aren't enough, so." Seeing Subaru's pitiful state, Isaac kicked him straight in the stomach again, then sarcastically said, "Don't argue, you bastard. Look at you. Listen, from now on that box is your home. No matter what happens, don't come out of there. If I find out you stepped out even once, you know what will happen." Remembering that, Subaru's face hardened. What kind of idiot just takes a beating like that? "So that's why you stayed in that box." The guy kept rambling to Subaru. "I completed up to part 20, even surpassing my father's record. Instructor Huka even showered me with praise, saying I truly am Reinhardt's son. Huh? I even learned a skill as a reward for completion. That skill is rank B, the highest you can get from that tutorial test. I'm thirsty, maybe I'll have a drink too." "Go ahead. I'm leaving." "Oh really? Then when you come back, buy me a coffee, anything cheap fits. Just pick a meal." Hearing that, Subaru asked in surprise, "Huh?" The guy lowered his head and covered his face, saying, seriously, still not listening like before. "What's wrong with you lately, just staring at people and talking back constantly? Did you swap souls or something?" Seeing that, Subaru bluntly said, "I don't have credits. Buy your own coffee." Seeing him about to stand up, the guy lowered his voice, "Sit down." But Subaru insisted on leaving. He thought, "Kid, I'm sorry, but I don't have time to deal with your personal problems. But if that guy gets in the way of my revenge, that's a different story." But suddenly Isaac grabbed Subaru's hand tightly, unhappy. Bloodshot eyes looked at Subaru saying, "Hey, do you really want to see yourself get beaten up?" But Subaru firmly replied, "Let go, if you value your life." Isaac still held tight to Subaru's arm, making the atmosphere more tense. He glared threateningly. "Don't get cocky, Subaru." Eyes full of killing intent stared at him. Subaru thought briefly, "I can't cause chaos in this crowd. Making a scene will only make things worse." Suddenly Isaac laughed loudly, echoing through the space. It seemed his hesitation made the guy misunderstand. "Don't be scared. I was just scaring you a little like last time, right? You're still as cowardly as ever. With your skills, you probably barely passed the tutorial test. I know you're feeling proud of yourself, but..." Just as he finished speaking, Isaac took steps closer to Subaru. Looking with contempt, "You piece of trash. You really think you can beat me? If I wanted to, I could make you disappear. You know who my father is, right?" Saying that, the guy walked away laughing loudly. "Be careful, my friend." Subaru remained calm, silently watching him. Friends. System announced there are 2 main ways for a player to develop. System showed step-by-step instructions. First is passing the gates. By passing the tower's gates and receiving rewards, players can naturally grow stronger. To enter the tower's gates, you must pay credits, but safety is guaranteed in a digital space. Since the gates are created within it, even if you die, all you lose is credits and your progress. Second gate, system announced, hunting. By hunting monsters outside the safe zone, or clearing dungeons on each floor, you can fully develop. By doing so, your growth will be faster than passing the gates. But since hunting takes place in the real world, a situation hanging by a thread, if you die there, you will truly die. Right then at the Whispering Orc Nest dungeon. That's why players avoid hunting, because there's no reason to risk their lives. But a slender figure with resilience, Subaru sat leisurely in front of the beast just killed. The safer it is, the slower. The beast was defeated tragically. The more dangerous, the faster. He slowly took out a thin, light device. Pondering the news recently updated image of a mysterious character with a mask. Subaru was surprised. Narukami Subaru. Viewers, 80. 0. The mysterious character live-streamed enthusiastically. Is everyone watching? Today I will challenge the floor 3 gate. Subaru was extremely annoyed. Narukami Subaru's name and mask. How many people have used this name? System appeared. Narukami is a full posted emission. 20,000 C for each completion. That guy continued. Narukami Subaru. I'll play the role of the starter. Thank you for 20,000 credits. Subaru was confused. There are even 20,000 credit missions. Many missions were posted. Insulting. Out of loneliness. Safe asset registered a mission. The masked guy rejoiced. Thank you everyone. I will complete this gate for you all. Narukami Subaru easily earned money through live streaming. Conversely, Subaru had to break his back fighting monsters with his life on the line. Meanwhile, his remaining credits were only 50 C, making Subaru bitter. He makes so much money. He seemed very focused watching the screen, then slowly stood up, sighing a long breath. Subaru jumped up aggressively. Alright then, one more job. A huge, creepy foot moved, causing the ground to shake violently. A group of beasts appeared with ferocious faces, growling. System announced the orc general species had appeared. Subaru calmly said, even without poison needles like last time. This time I have something even better. System appeared. Nameless demon sword has absorbed user's HP. All stats increased according to HP absorbed. Greed level 2 has resisted the backlash of nameless demon sword. He angrily pulled out his weapon. I'm very busy. I don't have time. System appeared. User's HP and mental health are temporarily restored. Subaru kicked straight into the beast face. Don't waste time, you trash. He flipped in the air, unleashing moves to destroy them one by one. The beast could only stand below looking up, immobilized. Subaru threw a majestic punch immediately. System showed result. Whispering Orc Nest Dungeon has been completed. He thought briefly. So I have to wear this thing again. Subaru looked in the mirror muttering, I understand how streamers make money. If I'm going to do it, I'll do my best with what I'm good at. Then he put on the mask. Well, I'm the real deal anyway. Saying that, Subaru turned and silently walked out of the room. A voice rang out. Narukami Subaru has started a broadcast. Inside the office, the atmosphere was extremely quiet with not a soul. Only Hazuki sat contemplating something. She suddenly clenched her teeth, seeming extremely angry. Hazuki suddenly shouted loud. What the hell is this? Idiot, bastard, trash, 5 people couldn't even complete it. What the hell? Seong Hyan walked up and spoke. Remember, if the self-censorship sound beeps first, it's 1,000 points. Right, just now was almost the limit. So what happened? Who is it this time? Hazuki kicked Tsubakichi. He was surprised. Tsubakichi is Narukami Subaru. Or is it an imposter? Who is she? Who knows? Could be both. Because the original Narukami Subaru still hasn't appeared. So if it coincides, the strongest one will be the real deal. Everyone and their mother is impersonating Narukami Subaru to make money. Is live streaming really dead? Seong Hyan stood there saying, don't say such scary words. We are making money thanks to this streaming service. Hazuki remained cranky, isn't that right? They don't even know the rules. Even players risking their lives climbing the tower find it ridiculous. Seong Hyan worriedly hesitated. Hazuki, then why did you give up the tower and come to a place like this? She gently spoke up. Because it's boring. Besides, you gave up too, didn't you? If I were free, I would have found another talent already. Shut your mouth, making him speechless. No, I gave up because I lack skill. Seong Hyan stood there thinking, well, he climbed the tower just to meet Narukami Subaru one day. So if he lost his purpose, he would also lose his enthusiasm, right? Hazuki suddenly shouted, there's an amazing kid here. He turned and asked, what? Did you find another weirdo? She was confused. A new Narukami Subaru impersonator. Seong Hyan was also stunned. That's terrible. This is talent scouting. Ridiculous. Why are you watching a Florida broadcast with 0 viewers? Hazuki noticed something unusual. That's true. But when I see someone wearing this mask, I can't stop hoping. And the 1,000 credits I just donated. Seong Hyan heard that and immediately knelt down pleading, please forgive me. System continuously displayed notifications starting Florida Gate. Complete the opening dungeon and escape. Completion points will be awarded based on monsters eliminated. Subaru thought, the Florida Gate isn't hard enough to confuse me. But the feeling of people watching me still puts a bit of pressure on me. Suddenly someone sent a message. What floor? The stranger continued asking. First time. He mumbled, yes, this is my first challenge. A series of messages were sent. Are you sure? Is streaming like this okay? If it's your first time, you don't know your surroundings well. Suddenly a monster with a ferocious face appeared unexpectedly. Subaru quickly grabbed the monster's head. He threw it, sending the beast flying far away. System announced. One-eyed bat defeated. Received 1 corresponding point. Subaru paused and mumbled. Is there a problem? System announced. Starting first challenge. Conquer the novice dungeon and escape. Achievement points will be awarded based on the amount of monsters killed. Comments appeared. Your reflexes are crazy. Wait, everyone is streaming from floor to now. I see them sometimes, but they give up quickly because their view count doesn't go up. Better not be greedy and wait for other members to move together. Subaru spoke slowly. Mr. Manny, thanks for the advice, but no can do. He smiled. I prefer handling everything alone. Comments appeared. Alone? Huh, did you research already? He's done for. Rookies these days. Subaru started moving inside. Just using the name Subaru Narukami brings viewers without me doing anything. Suddenly, a salamander appeared moving towards Subaru. His hand quickly gripped the sword hilt. In a blink of an eye, Subaru destroyed it very easily. Now, I plan to see how far I can go. System announced. Defeated mud water monster. Received 2 achievement points. Comments appeared. Did anyone see anything? I think I saw a mud water monster, right? Instantly, a Cyclops poison bat continued to attack Subaru. His body moved with incredible fluidity. It seemed nothing could stand in Subaru's way right now. Comments appeared. What was that just now? What happened? Did something happen? Viewers confused. System announced. Defeated Cyclops poison bat x2. Received 2 achievement points. Defeated mud water monster by 2. Received achievement points. Subaru spoke up. If you focus on the sound, you will know from which direction and how many are coming. Comments appeared. Yeah, I knew that. You lied. You aren't a rookie. I knew it. I can do that too. Mr. Dart Thrower. What level are you? He continued. If everyone knows already, I'll say what I'm thinking. Comments appeared. Normally, people can't do that lol. Ultimately, player talent is everything. Stick to your content. I get it lol. Trying to leech off Subaru Narukami's fame is a bit much lol. Subaru thought silently. Still not enough. I want to accumulate as many achievement points as possible before getting out of here. Comments appeared. Have you been walking straight this whole time? A real man moves silently forward. Didn't you research carefully? You'll be in trouble if you keep going straight like that. Suddenly Subaru's feet stopped inside the cave. His face slowly looked upwards. Countless Cyclops poison bats appeared clinging to the ceiling. Their pupils gradually opened, glowing red. Successively, others also opened their eyes in unison. Comments appeared. See? Told you so lol. He's done for. See you at the entrance. System announced. Maloney's team created a mission. 100 reputation points if you can kill them all. Subaru's state right now was still thinking about something. Comments appeared. Is this a trap? So rude lol haha. Subaru spoke up. Mr. Maloney's team, thank you for the 100 reputation points. A tightly clenched fist slammed onto the desk in anger. Seong Hyun panicked and shouted. Where did I go wrong? I was fine until floor 6 and now I fail here. Give me back my money. Sorry, was I too loud? My bad. Hazuki just stared at the phone screen broadcasting. Seong Hyun tilted his head and asked, what's wrong? What are you looking at? Her voice lowered. Something's not right. Seong Hyun was surprised. It's not a lot of money. Really, I have money to pay you back. If I touch gambling again, Hazuki interrupted. That's not it. Her tone was a bit surprised. Narukami Subaru. Seong Hyun glanced over. Huh? You're still watching that stream? Suddenly his face grimaced looking down. Impossible. Comments appeared. Oh my god. And he's a rookie on floor 2. Kidding? I'm starting to feel sorry for the bats lol. Too crazy. How many times is this? Seong Hyun continued. How many did he take down alone? The Cyclops poison bats frantically rushed to attack. Like this. Subaru's sharp blade easily took them down. Comments appeared. Your explanation didn't explain anything. Who said he was a rookie? Step up. Something happened. Is that all you can say? I'm currently on a higher floor, but I'm being taught by a Florida rookie. That sentence was like if you step forward, you can walk. Subaru sighed. Communication is hard. Comments appeared. Don't forget to claim the reputation points. He spoke up. Oh yeah, I forgot. Subaru's finger quickly pressed to claim the reputation points. Comments appeared. What's wrong? Is he weird? Subaru awkwardly scratched his head. How do I claim it? Comments appeared. Aside from skills, he's definitely a newbie streamer. Click the accept button on the mission in the upper part of the chat window. Mission complete. Received 100 reputation points from Maloney's team. Subaru quickly replied. Thank you very much. He continued deeper inside. Well, the next place will be the last. System announced current reputation points 150. Current achievement points 118. Suddenly, a scream echoed outside the building. Hazuki excitedly said, This is bad. I can only say this is bad. Seong Hyang gritted his teeth, covering his ears. You're the one in trouble. She turned her face and said, What? Well, have you ever seen something like this? Seong Hyang frowned and continued, You're overreacting. It's still just floor 2. Hazuki widened her eyes and stood up. Yeah, I'm overreacting. He panicked and said, Sorry. Her cheeks flushed red with excitement. Where are you from Earth? I am Subaru Narukami from Earth. Could it be destiny? Could it be the reincarnation of Subaru Narukami? You see it in those comics. The thing called reincarnation motif. Seong Hyang frowned, thinking, once this girl talks about Narukami, she acts like she's crazy. Hazuki continued, What should I do? I'm so dizzy. Hey, Seong Hyang, if I close my eyes now. He startled. No. She was surprised. What? Not allowed. Seong Hyang continued. That's not it. Are you thinking of scouting him? Hazuki shouted angrily. That's right, he continued. He has some bright spots, but still a rookie. Lonely streamer. She quickly interrupted. I know that. Seong Hyang sighed wearily. What do you know? If we tell the section chief, we'll get scolded again. Hazuki was furious. And just now you only cared about betting. Suddenly you're so serious. Her cheeks puffed up, frowning. Just wait and see. Hazuki's eyes continued to stare intently at Subaru. Suddenly, the surroundings began to vibrate. His hand gently placed on the wall. Here it is. The end of the dungeon. The door abruptly opened slowly. Subaru stood firmly, extremely confident, facing it. And here, the werewolf in a sitting sleep state. Wait, werewolf Gress. Comments appeared. Every time I see him I feel crazy pressure. Keep it a secret that I struggled with this guy for 8 tries. Him not letting me pass the first time made me think it was a bug. System announced. Received acknowledgement from werewolf. Passing through the gate allows you to continue the challenge. Subaru thought. Werewolf is not a monster created for hunting. It is a gatekeeper, evaluating the strength of players conquering the novice dungeon and judging if they can continue. His eyes slowly glanced sideways at the screen. Subaru's face froze in surprise. 3,000 reputation points. Comments appeared. Another rude guy appeared, lol. Probably has no intention of donating, lol. Announced budget tightening. Besides, this isn't a monster to kill, lol. The black pupils of the werewolf were slowly opening. Above its eye, a deep scar appeared on its fur. System quickly announced Werewolf Grez, Florida Gatekeeper. It began to breathe a long breath, then spoke up. A player, huh? Subaru didn't answer, quickly drawing his sword in front of his face. Seeger praised. Subaru, you're really good because even when you change sword direction midway, your breathing and eyes don't waver. Subaru wondered, sword direction. He continued from the start. You look like you only slash them with a single sword strike. Are you calculating the enemy's flexible movements and even planning actions long in advance? Subaru didn't answer, just deep in thought about something. He suddenly pointed at his face and said, But I don't really think much. Seeger frowned. Truly an annoying guy. Subaru stated plainly, maybe it would be better if I couldn't do that. Seeger smiled awkwardly. Normally, you can't. Subaru continued thinking. Seeger also found it strange, right? The important thing in communication is exchanging images and conveying everything immediately. When taking down a group of Cyclops poison bats at once, you shouldn't think about aiming for each individual eye. Cyclops poison bats always attack while thrusting their heads forward, so the more there are, the bigger opening they create. System announced. Let the werewolf acknowledge you. The werewolf's eyes widened in surprise, looking at Subaru. Alone? It asked, puzzled. Did you really come alone? Subaru answered coldly. Can't you tell by looking? The werewolf started approaching his face. You truly are an interesting guy. I smell the scent of a great warrior on you. Comments appeared. Smell of a great warrior. Yet you told me I stink. It told me I smell like a goblin corpse. Subaru's eyes became sharp. Wolf tribe warriors can smell special scents. Not just body odor. They see through a person's essence. The werewolf spoke up. You have enough qualifications to pass here. The test ends. You can go. Comments appeared. What's wrong with this guy? Discrimination. Turns out there are cases like this. Subaru scratched his head thinking, even in my past life, this never happened. Too bad. My target is you. The werewolf tilted its head. My head, isn't it the door behind? Subaru quickly nodded. Yeah, someone told me to kill you. Suddenly the werewolf looked up and continued, indeed a man possessing the soul of a great warrior. Right at this moment in a sun-drenched office, Hazuki and Seong Hyan were present at the office, fingers typing uncontrollably with a bit of anger. This. South Turn Entertainment, Section Chief, Zoltal. How many viewers does that streamer have? Seong Hyan smiled awkwardly and replied, about 20 people. Hazuki interrupted, no. She smiled radiantly and continued, it's over 30 now. Seong Hyan frowned thinking, I won't correct you, idiot. John suddenly adjusted his glasses and said, are you guys kidding me? You think I don't know you gamble during work hours? And then what? I told you to find someone promising, and you bring someone with 20 viewers to me. Hazuki's eyes slowly looked down. 30 people, John angrily interrupted. That's not important. Hazuki, why don't you just sync? You have skills and you'll definitely have fans. She shouted. Section Chief. Hazuki looked down at the screen. I just looked, and it crossed 40 people. John frowned. Hey, are you listening to me? At this moment, Subaru was still in a ready stance before the werewolf. Suddenly its arm raised along with sharp claws. His palm gripped the sword hilt tight. Don't think about anything. System announced, Nameless Demon Sword absorbs user's mana. All stats increased corresponding to the amount of stamina consumed. Subaru reassured himself, calm down. System announced, Greed level to nullify side effects from Nameless Demon Sword. His pupils suddenly glowed. Even if this is your first time. Breaking his train of thought, the werewolf rushed up, just do as usual. Subaru's sharp blade quickly parried its claws. The werewolf didn't stop there and continued to raise its claws. Its arm frantically attacked Subaru continuously. His feet were trying to stand firm on the ground. Subaru withdrew the sword, gasping, he's strong. Trying to resist with brute force is impossible, but the werewolf's eyes looked sharply at Subaru, truly a warrior. It quickly continued to turn and attack him. The werewolf spoke, but you are not on the same level as me. Subaru's palm still gripped the sword hilt without letting go. Comments appeared. Defensive tactics only suitable for mercenaries probably won't work. Still dangerous. He's unreasonably strong. Maybe try 2 or 3 times. The guy who gave this mission will regret it. He'll complete it eventually. That will be very hard. At this moment, Subaru's back was pushed against the wall. He gasped thinking, sometimes there are more effective ways than using force. The werewolf continued, you have piqued my interest, warrior. Its claws raised high. Let's end this. The powerful arm struck down with terrifying internal force. Subaru's body quickly changed direction as he spoke. That's what I say. Your attacks are too predictable. Finishing the sentence, his blade struck straight into the werewolf. Die. Its whole body fell back in pain with blood spurting out continuously. Subaru jumped up high again holding the sword tight. He easily used his skill to defeat the werewolf. Subaru quickly sheathed the sword back at his hip. The werewolf looked up and spoke. Excellent, warrior. System quickly announced, defeated werewolf. Leveled up to 12. Increased 2 strength. Increased 1 agility. Increased 1 focus. Increased 2 magic power. Received 500 achievement points. Comments appeared, wait, did he really defeat him? Did he die standing up? The stream is so good. Isn't this the first try? Maybe. Subaru panted and smiled. Defeated him. Comments appeared, solo. Hats off to the person who gave the mission law. Maybe he never thought he could do it. Viewers, 56. System announced, mission complete. Received 3,000 reputation points from Sefes. Subaru spoke up, I will use it for good, Sefes. System announced, current reputation points, 3,150. Current achievement points, 618, gate opening. Subaru slowly walked inside where there was light. Suddenly, his eyes froze sensing danger. Comments appeared, something is enraged. System panels continuously appeared before Subaru's eyes. Comments appeared, 13 choices. Kidding. The known ones so far are 16, right? Is this a record? I only got. System announced, number of choices is proportional to player's talent. Will you participate in the lightning challenge? Comments appeared. That's the spirit. Of course, if he doesn't choose lightning here, he should change his name. Subaru hesitated for a long while before finally speaking up. System quickly announced, selected lightning challenge. Subaru's entire body was now enveloped by a powerful electric current. Hazuki was still intently looking at the screen to follow. Everyone laughed loudly, excited. All right. Hazuki pointed at the screen. He did it. Already 60 people. How about that? Is there any streamer whose viewer count increased fast like this? And normally, missions only give at most 2 to 3 choices, but he got 13. John spoke in a deep voice. Truly impressive to defeat a werewolf. Heard he's never been defeated. However, he's still just a rookie streamer on floor 2. Still many things to discuss. Hazuki excitedly laughed. Section Chief, want to bet with me? He was surprised. Bet. She continued. If he fails to accept the lightning, Seong Hyan and I will work with fixed salary for 5 years. On the other hand, if he succeeds, you will sign a contract with him without complaint. Seong Hyan cried and whined. What the? Why am I included? Wait, hold on. I don't know this person. John smiled. Even if he gets to the challenge, you really think he has a chance? The only player to ever achieve lightning was Subaru Narukami. Hazuki confidently replied. Can't know without trying, right? John crossed his arms and answered, all right, I'll join that bet. Hazuki quickly covered Seong Hyun's mouth. I won't. System announced, starting lightning challenge. Subaru hesitated and whispered, this is. Suddenly a sound cut through the atmosphere. Watch out. Someone abruptly rushed in and hugged Subaru. A huge explosion suddenly appeared from behind. Falcon hurriedly gasped along with huge debris behind. You. What are you dazing off for? Do you want to die? System announced, defeated giant fragment. Subaru was surprised. Why is this guy here? Suddenly the giant fragment gritted its teeth looking down below. Comments appeared. What's the situation here? Isn't this the lightning challenge? That's right. That's a monster from the giant tribe. Why did he appear like that? Subaru thought silently, a boss-level monster supposedly appearing in part 2 of the challenge. Did something change because I defeated Gress? The giant fragment quickly used its weapon to strike straight down at the ground. Subaru had left the position in an instant and slowly walked over. He sighed, however. It's just big. Its structure is far inferior to Gress. Luckily, I knew this information beforehand. Falcon hurriedly ran over saying, and after I got in trouble for saving you, run quickly. Subaru quickly gripped the sword hilt. I probably have to quickly resolve this before someone interferes. System announced, Nameless Demon Sword absorbs user's blood. All stats increase corresponding to amount of blood consumed. Greed level to nullify side effects of Nameless Demon Sword. At this moment, Subaru still stood firmly facing the giant fragment. His feet abruptly spread out to get into a fighting stance. The giant fragment's weapon struck down with powerful internal force. Subaru's feet landed in time. The giant fragment still refused to stop and continued to rush up. Falcon looked up at the sky, witnessing Subaru floating in midair. His body quickly landed on its head. The blade hesitated for nothing and stabbed straight inside. In just one slash, the giant fragment screamed in pain. Subaru's black eyes looked at it coldly. So noisy. Palm gripping the sword hilt tight. Be silent for the rest of your life. The giant fragment's head looked up with blood spurting out continuously. Its pupils slowly closed, having no strength to resist. System announced, you have defeated the giant fragment. You have completed stage 4. Comments appeared, stage 4? System announced, increase 1 level 13. Increase to strength, increase 1 agility, increase 1 health, increase 1 magic power. You have received 4,000 achievement points. You have received item Giant Heart. You have received item Thunderclap Armor. Comments appeared for 1,000 points, giving gifts from stage 1 to stage 4 all at once. How generous. Killed Werewolf. Perfect conquest from stage 1 to 3. Falcon walked over in surprise looking at Subaru. You are? Comments appeared, isn't that Falcon? Lol, he switched to speaking politely. Anyone would be wary if something like this suddenly appeared at stage 4. Yeah? Anyone would panic lol. He exclaimed in surprise. Who the hell are you? Subaru answered coldly. Can't you tell by looking? His black pupils looked down. I came to defeat the giant. Right at this moment in an extremely quiet town. Only a sparse few citizens along with guards standing around. Subaru sat alone in the room intently looking at the screen. Comments appeared. Show us the items. Show us. Show us. I bet at least magic rank. Not just magic. Maybe rare. Subaru's arm reached straight in. I'm also curious. Well then, let's watch together. System announced, Giant Heart, rank, rare, type, accessory, HP +2. A ring carved from a giant's heart enhances HP and recovery ability. Subaru thought accessory type equipment is very precious, increasing HP. I like this effect too. He looked down at the floor just in time. I also need armor. System announced, Thunderclap Armor, rank, rare, type, armor, defense +5. Armor imbued with the power of lightning. Can use thunderclap once per day. Nullifies disadvantageous statuses. Remaining uses, 3. Comments appeared nice, even subtracting the equipment restrictions. Seems usable until floor 5. No, giant heart is a lifetime item. Basic value is whatever you ask. Subaru quickly put on the sturdy armor. System announced. Wayne Arakami registered a mission, 5,000 reputation points. If you can learn lightning, do your best. Subaru answered broadly, thank you. Wayne Arakami. System announced and bank registered a mission. I will gift 5,000 points for a similar mission. Mission villain registered a mission, 3,000 points for a similar mission. Safe asset registered a mission, love and trust and 7,000 reputation points. Subaru spoke up thanking everyone. I will definitely show everyone my ability. There are this many people waiting for lightning magic. Perhaps he might be a more important existence than he thought. Suddenly outside the door a voice spoke up, come in. Comments appeared, right button law. Eavesdropping behind the door. No mistake. This guy also registered a mission. Before his eyes were Falcon, and the person beside him, Pelus. Falcon smiled saying, sorry to keep you waiting. This is the village's knight captain, Sir Pelus. Recently, giant attacks have been happening frequently. We knights have to stand guard 24 hours a day, fully equipped. For their safety, we asked villagers to limit unnecessary trips. Didn't expect to meet an outsider at a time like this. Pelus continued, I heard you protected the village during my absence. On behalf of the villagers. Thank you. Subaru interrupted, no, I just did the obvious thing. Pelus, the face of this village and a brave knight fighting against the giant tribe. Pelus said seriously, fortunately during this reconnaissance, we discovered the chieftain of the giant tribe. We intend to risk our lives to corner them so. Excuse my rudeness. I beg you, please save our village. Subaru didn't answer, just looked at Pelus's appearance right now. Comments appeared, Pelus, don't die. Pelus, oh, he dies later. Don't spoil anymore. Subaru frowned thinking, based on my memory, Pelus will definitely die in the next stage. His arm slowly extended forward. Raise your head. Subaru confidently continued, understood. I will cooperate. Pelus smiled and quickly shook hands with him. Thank you very much. System announced, starting stage 5, survival. Everyone stepped forward together under the sunset light. Subaru was still intently looking down at the screen. He thought, since the number of viewers increased, the comment stream runs faster and faster. Like this, I can't interact. Suddenly, Pelus stopped and raised his hand saying, stop. Falcon's face darkened pointing ahead. That is a monster with a sturdy body, the chieftain of the giants. Pelus spoke up. I will attract his attention, so you, benefactor, attack him from behind. Suddenly a hand placed on his shoulder. Wait. Pelus gritted his teeth turning back to look at Subaru. That thing. Suddenly underneath the ground shook violently. Pelus and his teammates were extremely panicked. Subaru's eyes suddenly stared sharply. Not human. At this moment, the chieftain's pupils widened. Its eyes slowly glanced sideways. Simultaneously appearing were numerous giant fragments. They were frantically excited rushing in. Pelus widened his eyes looking tremblingly. Why? The large palm of the giant fragment quickly attacked. Stop. Before their eyes right now was immense danger. Save me. The giant fragment was closing in within sight. It suddenly smiled sinisterly with terrifying white pupils. Everyone started panicking and running away. Everyone. Go back to the foot of the mountain immediately, hurry. The giant suddenly roared as if angry. It used its hand to press down hard on the sacrificed person below. One person crying intending to rush up was pulled back by teammates. Stop. The monster raised its hand. He cried loudly, brother, Rutan. Pelus standing in front blocking quickly turned around ordering. This is an order, everyone run. He shouted making them worried. Think about your families at home and the village. This isn't the end yet. We will start over. They immediately ran away. Pelus turned around continuing to defend. I will entrust leading Falcon to you guys. As soon as he turned his face to the side, he bumped into a figure. Pelus immediately shouted, you two, run quickly. Please rebuild the knight's order and take revenge on the giants. Subaru drew the sword in his hand and answered, that's what I say. He stepped forward asking him, you don't intend to run? Pelus asked confused, What do you mean? Subaru immediately showed intention to chase him away. If you're here, I can't move comfortably. If you insist on refusing, then both of us will die here. Pelus panicked as if wanting to scream, but abandoning an outsider and running, I can't. He immediately shouted, don't make me say it twice. Hearing that, he immediately ran away. Pelus didn't forget to turn his head back to say, Then, I will go gather the warriors, if you can hold out until then. Subaru focused looking at the monsters and answered, thank you. Pelus shouted wishing him survival through the battle. I owe you a life, take care. The monsters suddenly opened their mouths roaring loudly. Subaru fearlessly launched forward towards them. The sword in his hand was covered by a dark aura. I am your opponent. He immediately slashed once below the giant's leg. It was slashed and lost balance, almost falling down. The others hearing the scream of their king glanced over. Subaru wiped sweat from his forehead. A notification panel from the system appeared. Defeated giant Trace X2. Received 20 achievement points. He said while slashing with red eyes, even if it is a test, I'm not used to being left alone. On the other side, Pelus was trying his best to run fast into the forest. Then he stopped abruptly, breathing becoming heavy. Pelus anxiously turned his head looking back at the direction he just ran from. He said nothing, but clenched his teeth tight. On Subaru's side, a bunch of comments popped up. Looks like fighting, that's definitely suicide. They are too numerous, just survive. Right? What? He chased the others away. The score changes based on the number of surviving warriors. Turns out it's not just truth. Survive. This game is too impossible. He regained his breath while thinking, including Pelus, who was destined to die. If I do this, I can save everyone. While Subaru was thinking, the giants rushed towards him like crazy. Subaru immediately finished one off with a blow. Defeated giant Trace. Received 10 achievement points. He turned to the side, quickly destroying another one. Defeated giant Trace. Received 10 achievement points. Subaru pondered. Nameless demon sword absorbs user's mana. All stats increase corresponding to amount of mana consumed. If I take them down one by one, it's not hard. He raised the sword holding it firm in his hand. The problem is how long can I borrow the demon sword's power here? I need to ensure visibility and find the boss. Subaru climbed on the body of the giant he just slashed to expand his view. The other giants seeing him also looked. Subaru glided in the air. The giants below had mouths open as if waiting for him to fall. Suddenly one opened its mouth wide, raising the hands high as if wanting to catch Subaru. He didn't attack, just used his foot to kick its face. Then Subaru used the giants' faces as stepping stones to launch away. Comments bubbled up again. One wrong step implies instant death. Aerial combat isn't supposed to be Subaru Narukami's forte. He ignored those comments and only focused on thinking of a way. Greed level 2. Nullify side effects of Nameless Demon Sword. User's stamina and mental strength recovered. There is a change in stamina consumption. Equipment truly makes a difference. His eyes widened as if seeing something. I need to quickly find the boss before reaching the limit. Subaru saw the boss from afar. There he is. It saw him and suddenly laughed loudly as if amused. Subaru quickly rushed over. It also prepared to swing the weapon in its hand. He rushed while thinking, if I don't destroy it in one blow, I'm done for. The giant, with a serious face, raised the staff in its hand high. Subaru, although calm on the outside, was praying inside, please succeed. He suddenly snapped his fingers, the snap echoing in the air. Surroundings of Subaru were immediately enveloped by a layer of yellow light using thunderclap. Lightning echoed throughout the battlefield. The giants painfully raised hands to hold their heads, covering their eyes. They held their heads and screamed very loudly. Even the boss discarded its weapon and covered its eyes. It raised its head, opening eyes looking towards him, shouting, human. Subaru rushed down from above, sword tip pointing straight between its eyes. Nameless Demon Sword. Absorb user's mana. His eyes glowed red. The sword also flashed a beam of light. Subaru decisively stabbed straight down. Being stabbed, it opened its eyes wide in extreme surprise. Subaru kept the pose, blood spraying everywhere. The giant looked at him with disbelief, then leaned back. Its body gradually fell down. All the others were holding their heads, so they didn't know the boss was killed. Defeated giant seed. Immediately, a series of system panels popped up. Completed stage 5 survival. Achieved excellent rank. Leveled up. Increased 1 strength. Increased 2 agility. Increased to stamina. Increased 1 magic power. In the live room, comments rushed in excitedly. Has anyone ever defeated him? Impossible. How did he defeat even him? From the start, that wasn't a stage like that. When did the opportunity to kill appear? Defeating something that shouldn't be defeated, truly a disruptor. I hate my weak body so much. Subaru panted heavily, continuously adjusting his breathing. If this were the main character in a story, this would be a cool ending moment. Suddenly the sky turned dark, fierce thunder making the sky flash continuously. The giants calmed down only now. They slowly lowered their hands. He raised the sword looking at it. Greed level to fail to nullify Nameless Demon Sword. Subaru staggered, trying to stay steady to not fall. That's right. An image flashed through his mind. Even if I complete this stage, the monsters won't disappear until the test ends. Didn't expect the mechanic I used as an advantage would now make me miserable. From beneath his mask, a few drops of blood began to drip down. Subaru looked at the huge giants thinking, this is bad. My strength disappeared. Suddenly in the sky, a few lightning bolts unexpectedly struck down. A yellow lightning bolt struck from the sky to the ground with extreme speed. His whole body was illuminated by the light of the lightning bolt. Then it struck straight into Subaru, creating a huge explosion, making the giants retreat in fear. Inside another forest, clear sky, birds singing. Yellow light shone down, weaving through the leaves. Deep in that forest, there was a wooden house built under the canopy. In front of the house, a girl was sitting on a chair doing something. She focused, looking down at the thing in her hand. Seeger opened the door, stepping out from the house. His eyes immediately fell on her. He approached and asked, "What are you doing in a place like this?" She didn't answer but changed the subject. "Nice weather, right? The air is fresh too." Raina still stared at the device in her hand. "It's something you can only enjoy right now." Seeger stepped up, looking at the sky. "It's almost time, huh?" She thought for a while, then replied, "At most, 1 year." He turned back to look at Raina. "It's time to end everything." At this moment she didn't reply, making Seeger sigh helplessly. "You really are different. Spacing out while we are talking seriously." He lowered his head close to the device in Rena's hand. "What are you watching so intently?" She heard that and hesitated a bit, saying, this?" Inside was the image of Subaru. Currently, he is called Subaru Narukami. Seeger lost his cool a bit and shouted, "Subaru, did you just say Subaru?" Raina sighed and hurriedly replied, "Of course, not that Subaru. He just stole the name Subaru Narukami, a streamer currently doing the second challenge." Comments also appeared on live saying his movements are phenomenal. And this guy is supposedly a rookie. Raina hesitated a bit but then said clearly, "You know too, right?" She was a bit angry, raising her voice at Seeger. If Subaru survived in that situation, Kazuki Kyozo, he would have been wiped from this tower long ago. He calmly asked, "What do you mean?" Rena's eyebrows lowered slightly, cheeks blushing a bit pink. "Subaru is dead. You need to accept that truth." Seeger heard that and immediately turned away. "Don't talk about that issue anymore." She panicked a bit, calling him Seeger. Raina stood up from the chair, shouting, "How long do you intend to hide in that kid's shadow?" He turned his face back, annoyed. "What about you?" Seeger snatched the device from her hands. "This is why you get into trouble like this." She was about to explain, but he took it and held it in front of Raina's eyes. "I'm just killing time." She looked at the device, the image on the screen reflecting in Raina's eyes, causing her to scream. "Huh." Seeger took the device back, looking slightly annoyed. "What now?" As soon as his eyes landed on it, Seeger also froze immediately. That is, Subaru stomped his foot hard on the ground to gain momentum. A massive amount of energy radiated from him, lighting up the surroundings. The giants were weighed down by the pressure, unable to take a single step. A system notification appeared. Skill acquired, Lightning. You have received 2,000 achievement points. 1. Continue challenge. 2. Move to next stage. The chat went into a frenzy. Seriously, that's crazy. So that's how you get it. The difficulty is completely broken. You ask how to get Lightning. Just defeat the giant race's boss. It makes sense why Subaru Narukami didn't say anything. Even if I told you, you couldn't do it anyway. He looked down, thinking to himself, no, normally, this isn't something I could get here. The system board displayed information about Lightning. Rank A+, type, skill. Consumes stamina and mana to wield the power of Lightning. Upgradable by adding lightning fragments. Subaru looked at the board and sighed. At least I didn't die. That's enough. Stopping the challenge right here actually saved me. A series of notifications popped up, showing information about the viewers gifting him. Subaru immediately spoke up to thank everyone. He looked at his reputation points and continued. Reputation points, 20,150. I said that when I received gifts, I would perform a show to say thanks. The challenge continues. The giants, able to move again, roared and charged forward. Subaru's sharp eyes scanned them. I'll show everyone that thing. Consume 20,000 reputation points. Conductor skill level 2 is leveled up. Conductor level 3. Neutralizes side effects of lightning. He raised his hand, which was emitting lightning. Right now, I want to let it spread through my body, but lightning surged into his hand. Subaru's hand shone brighter than anyone else's. He stood still in a defensive stance, while the monsters rushed in like hungry tigers pouncing on prey. just as they raised their hands to attack Subaru. He grinned, gripping the sword hilt with both hands, channeling lightning into the nameless demon sword. Subaru's entire body emitted a deadly red glow. Should I slash them all at once? Just like old times. He swung down a powerful strike, his eyes flashing with light. Wherever the slash went, the giants were split in two. Not a single monster could escape Subaru's godlike strike. The attack ended the scene, and the light on his body began to fade. Subaru panted heavily, exhausted. Damn it, I intended to save some strength for the return trip. He propped himself up with the sword, trying to stand firm. I misjudged the power consumption. Behind Subaru, a group of people was approaching. They saw the scene before them, and everyone was a bit panicked. Pelus looked up, his face clearly bewildered. Huh? He suddenly rushed towards Subaru. You are a benefactor. Subaru, still propping himself up, heard the call and turned his head. Subaru's vision blurred. He tried to regulate his breathing. His sight growing hazy, he watched Pelus run over anxiously. Idiot, honestly. As soon as Pelus reached out, Subaru closed his eyes tight. You really came. Inside a room, the phone on the table rang. The three people in the room looked anxious and slightly panicked. Seohyun looked up and asked, did we really have to go this far? John didn't know what to do either. Don't ask me. I don't understand women's thinking. Asuka sat on the chair, burying her face in her hands, mumbling, this is bad. Her face was flushed, sweat pouring down. What should I do? Asuka rubbed her hands over her face. Maybe I sounded too cold. What if it just looks like a work text? I should have added more emojis. John crossed his arms and spoke, sorry, but to me, it just looks like a work text. Are you one of those obsessive fans? John added. Honestly, I thought you wanted to be a streamer manager. Asuka lowered her hands, her voice rising slightly, but before becoming a manager. I'm a hardcore fan. How can you blame me? She suddenly stood up and approached the two of them. And besides, I said it, right, boss? Asuka placed her hand on her chest, her voice clear and powerful. The lightning that only Subaru Narukami obtained. With this, it has become a unique lightning meant only for Subaru Narukami and his group. Hearing this, Seohyun sighed. Somehow, I managed to save my salary. He rubbed his chin and smiled. No wonder no one else could get it. He's definitely someone worth watching. The phone in his hand suddenly received a signal. Asuka's eyes lit up. Ah, boss. Seohyun's next words made her anxious. It seems Subaru Narukami has read the message. But, as soon as he finished the sentence, Asuka turned into a stone statue. He left it unseen. The two looked at her standing there dazed, completely frozen. At the same time, inside a room filled with anime figures, an excited voice rang out. Is that so? A young man was sitting in a gaming chair in a modern room with an expensive PC setup. He looked at the LED screen, unable to hide his excitement. Shall we begin? A streamer specializing in analyzing player matches. With sharp insight and knowledge, he had defeated countless opponents and built a solid position for himself. A confident smile appeared. Hawkeye. People rumor that he showed sharp analytical skills when watching clips of various players. Among them was Kurokawa Amon, who had just joined the Blue Zone. The future of Blue Zone, comprehensive analysis of Kurokawa Amon. Hawkeye pointed at the screen displaying Amon's image. A dark horse has appeared, climbing the tower at a dizzying speed. Some even call him the second Narukami. It was time for Hawkeye to make his move, including covering Kazuki Kyozo, a former member of Blue Eyes. Can he be called the strongest man? Kazuki Kyozo of Blue Zone. Hawkeye's analysis. Kazuki Kyozo, now a player representing Earth. The pressure on his shoulders must be immense. But today I want to take a closer look at his skills. Of course, the cross-generational legend Narukami Subaru is no exception. No matter what people say, the lightning belongs to this man, Narukami Subaru. Hawkeye praised. When you think of a player at a level far superior to the rest, who comes to mind? Who are most of you thinking of right now? This man, that's right, Subaru Narukami. Hawkeye turned on the livestream. He excitedly introduced himself. Hello. I am Hawkeye. Thank you for tuning in today. Today, we will join Hawkeye in focusing on dissecting the hottest player right now, Narukami Subaru. The chat immediately boiled over. Narukami Subaru is back. It's not the original, isn't he still on the second floor? Is he alive? Turns out there are many Subaru Narukamis. A new Subaru. Out of ideas. Lol, Hawkeye is wash up. Most comments expressed doubt. Hawkeye didn't pay much attention. He moved his mouse. Now then. Don't ruin the mood right from the start. Hawkeye started reviewing Subaru's battle. Hawkeye couldn't comment any further, and could only marvel. Oh, crazy. The chat also got excited. What's wrong with this guy? Lol, and he's a newbie? This is a level far beyond the gacha god. Overrated. What floor are you on? You don't know anything. While the comments doubted Subaru's level, Hawkeye kept watching. He stuttered. What is this? He shuddered witnessing Subaru's performance, only able to utter one word, peak. Hawkeye began to analyze. What is that concentration? No normal person can use a newly acquired skill that well. He spared no praise. He controlled the skill and infused exactly what was needed into his sword, and didn't waste a bit of power. The chat was full of praise too. Is that possible? What do you mean? Am I the only one who doesn't get it? I see. I don't get it. Just one word, God. If this is real, it's insane. Hawkeye also felt this was crazy. Controllability and delicate concentration techniques. Focus makes that possible, and the judgment to use it exactly when needed. Actually, he didn't make a single mistake in this entire battle. He watched intently. Where did this monster come from? He thought to himself, I bet half of these guys don't even understand what they're watching. Before ending the session, he promised, this guy will definitely be a big figure. I plan to continue watching him in upcoming Hawkeye broadcast. Below, the comments were still buzzing. I thought he was a tank. What? Are you going to hunt with him? Isn't that your point? If he climbs a bit more, combining together would be fun. But seriously, he is simply phenomenal. A comment caught Hawkeye's eye. No conclusion today. He thought for a moment. Alright? I forgot to give Hawkeye's one-line comment. He thought for a long while before deciding, speaking strictly about control. He might be even better than Narukami in his prime. Scene change. Subaru was sleeping soundly when he suddenly startled awake. As if something prevented him from continuing to sleep, Subaru sat up. The system notified, Stage 6 is approaching. Fatigue has completely receded. Do you want to postpone the challenge? Subaru recalled the two conditions that must be met to temporarily suspend the challenge. You must finish the previous stage, the next stage hasn't started, and fatigue level must be 0. In other words, you must be fully recovered. Subaru scratched his head, reflecting, my fatigue level is 0, but mentally I'm still tired. Maybe I should pause the challenge for a bit. He picked up his phone to check. He was surprised to see the views. He said his final words before turning off the live stream. Thank you everyone for watching today. The comment section was suddenly more crowded than usual. Turning off the stream. Turns out it was just a stream to go to sleep. More, give us more. He also realized the change within himself. Viewers, since when did my viewer count get so high? Subaru bid farewell to the audience. I'm sorry, but the next stream will start the day after tomorrow. I'm taking a day off. As soon as the system announced, Subaru Narukami has ended the livestream. A light flashed, opening a portal. Subaru was suddenly teleported out of his room. The system displayed Explore Stage. His phone rang with a notification. Subaru didn't rush off but stood there to check. He was bewildered to see the message sent to him. It was a letter from South End Entertainment. To Mr. Subaru Narukami, thank you for your hard work. I am Hasuka from the management department of South End Entertainment. Could you please confirm the message I sent you? Our company fully supports streamers and ensures the highest revenue rate in the industry. Subaru suspiciously took off his mask and read it again. Spam mail. Suddenly, he realized the sender was South End Entertainment. Scene change. At a small cafe. Subaru was still staring intently at the letter just sent to him. Subaru went online to research the company that sent the letter. South End Entertainment, a large MCN company specializing in managing streamers. One of the rapidly growing companies thanks to heavy investment and support for streamers. He thought to himself, the world has definitely changed. Now even companies like this exist. Reading the information he just found, Subaru frowned slightly, pondering. And it's a major company among MCNs in the entertainment network. It's top tier. Subaru scrolled past a post titled, Streamer Hawkeye affiliated with South End likes a rising star. Narukami has appeared, and purely in terms of controllability, he has perhaps surpassed the original. Below, controversial comments erupted. Hawkeye's next target is lol. This guy talks nonsense. Nonsense. As a commentator, he's in the top tier. People quickly forget their roots and start advertising everywhere. He seriously praised that person? Hawkeye is famous for being extremely strict. Reading the comments, Subaru also remembered. Hawkeye, so he's also a streamer for South End. A famous commentator with a blunt style, holding nothing back, huh? The comment section is very lively. Subaru felt shy but excited knowing Hawkeye had praised his performance. I admit he has a good eye for people. On the street, a pair of legs walked quickly towards the cafe where Subaru was sitting. A large man stopped in front of the cafe to check his phone. His phone was replaying Hawkeye's livestream. Hawkeye's commentary rang out, speaking strictly about control. He might be even better than Narukami in his prime. Isaac angrily turned off the phone after hearing Hawkeye's comment. Don't screw with me. He just reached the second floor. He shouted curses at the screen. Hawkeye. What the hell? Once I climb up there, I'll gouge all their eyes out. His anger still not subsiding, Isaac stomped his foot on the ground, damn it. He walked into the cafe with a mood like he'd been chewed by a dog. Lost all my enthusiasm first thing in the morning. Walking into the shop, he stopped inside, his anger rising again. Huh? Subaru was already sitting in the shop. This made Isaac irritable, he muttered. Am I cursed today, or what? Everywhere I go. Subaru was still unaware of anything, still intently reading hot news on the screen. Isaac angrily walked up to Subaru's side, seizing the chance while he wasn't paying attention. He deliberately knocked over the hot cup of coffee on the table. The coffee had just been served, so it hadn't cooled down. Subaru jumped up, startled. Huh? He froze when he realized who was in front of him. Isaac just gave a half-hearted apology. Oh, sorry. He pretended not to know. Subaru, huh? We meet often lately, don't we? The second floor is really small. His tone clearly carried hostile intent. Encountering trouble first thing in the morning, Subaru didn't bother arguing. He planned to silently let it slide and sat back down. But Isaac wouldn't easily let go of an opportunity to mock him. Want me to compensate you for the coffee you're always broke? So that would be. Ignoring Isaac's rambling, Subaru just silently brushed past him to leave. Isaac hadn't finished his sentence. Feeling heavily insulted, his eyes turned furious. He called after Subaru. Hey. He angrily wanted to start a fight. Last time, I'm pretty sure I warned you. Is there something wrong with your head? Suddenly, he aggressively grabbed Subaru's collar. You bastard. He leaned into Subaru's face, spewing threats. Drop that smug look of yours. You think I'll let this slide? If you want to be beaten that miserably, you should have just said so. I'll crush you again, just like in the old days, just as you wish. Subaru calmly looked at Isaac acting crazy. He grabbed his wrist, replying gently, sorry, but Subaru threw Isaac's hand off. I don't have time for that today. Subaru's grip wasn't light. It bruised Isaac's wrist. He was surprised, unable to believe it. Was he always this strong? Subaru casually walked away. Let's assume you paid for my coffee. Thanks for the treat. He left, leaving Isaac bewildered alone in the shop, suddenly having to pay for the coffee. He shouted, hey, come back. Isaac's call didn't make Subaru turn around. The cafe door slammed shut like a slap in Isaac's face. He sighed. I planned to climb the tower quietly. He angrily cracked his knuckles. Before it was Subaru Narukami, then Subaru Hosoi. He didn't bother drinking coffee anymore and stormed out, carrying his furious mood. They all just keep pissing me off. Meanwhile, Subaru was walking down the street when he suddenly remembered something. Oh right? He typed a message to send to someone. Scene changed to a bathroom. Asuka was relaxing in the bathtub when her phone chimed with a message notification. The screen displayed from Narukami Subaru, let's meet once. Inside the dungeon, a ray of light shone down, illuminating the scene below clearly. Monster corpses lay scattered everywhere. The battle had just ended. The sword in Subaru's hand was still glowing red. Subaru stood before the door leading to the boss. A notification appeared. Entering the dungeon boss room, banish lizardman's shelter. Another notification appeared. Conductor level 3 neutralizes side effects of nameless demon sword. Subaru thought seriously before entering the battle. I've gradually gotten used to this body, but from above, amidst the pitch-black darkness, a flame gradually descended. A giant lizard, its entire body covered in flames, charged madly. System displayed. Boss Salamander has appeared. The monster roared ferociously, grah. Subaru didn't hesitate to rush forward. While attacking, he thought carefully. To prevent an accident like last time and master the use of lightning, I need to experiment. What is the maximum output? Saying that, he and the salamander clashed. He used lightning. Lightning transferred to legs. Thanks to channeling power into his legs, Subaru easily leaped high. Subaru dashed forward. At this moment, it was like reliving his golden age from his past life. The monster also lunged, opening its mouth to unleash a skill. A stream of fire was shot straight at Subaru. He immediately transferred lightning into the sword. System displayed. Lightning transferred to nameless demon sword. Subaru swung the demon sword powerfully. His slash tore the monster's fire in two. The system continuously notified. Conductor level 3 neutralizes side effects of lightning. Neutralization failed. Fatigue increased. Subaru ignored the warning. He wanted to try swinging the sword one more time. This time, the demon's sword slash cut across the monster, creating a perfect arc. As soon as he won, his system announced, Conquer Dungeon, Banish Lizardman's Shelter. Level up, Increase Strength by 1. Increase Constitution by 1. Increase Constitution by 1. Subaru left the dungeon. By now, the sky had turned dark. He glanced at his stats. Fatigue, 61. Subaru silently marveled. The stamina consumption reduction effect is better than I thought. I still have plenty of energy. With this, increasing output further should be fine. But, he sighed looking at the screen. The screen displayed Conductor Rank D. Type, Skill Passive, Level 3. Neutralizes side effects of skills and items used by the player. Can be upgraded. 40,000. Subaru was fed up. Isn't requiring double the reputation points to level up a bit too harsh? While Subaru was sadly thinking, I wish someone would suddenly appear and offer me a good job. A voice rang out from somewhere. Hunting, huh? He looked in the direction of the sound. From afar, a tall figure appeared in the dark night. That voice was extremely familiar. The figure walked slowly closer, asking again, You hunting? A familiar face gradually appeared in the moonlight. It was Isaac. This time, he seemed happy to see Subaru. We've known each other for a long time. But this is really unexpected. Meeting someone he didn't want to see right after fighting, Subaru was annoyed. You're really persistent. Isaac waved his hand dismissively. I actually thought about it, but because of my anger, I reached the limit of my patience. He continued to step closer to Subaru. He provoked. Why don't we end it right here? Subaru looked at the man in front of him, thinking with disgust, this guy. Scene change. At night, a busy city district, beneath magnificent buildings. Beautiful ladies were walking. Hawkeye walked into a small bar. While he was looking for someone, a hand raised to wave him over. Over here. John was already seated. He smiled happily when he saw Hawkeye. Hawkeye greeted him warmly. Long time no see. John politely replied. Is the stream going smoothly? Hawkeye sat down and casually took the glass of water on the table. Just average, I guess. The viewers are mostly the same, so the numbers haven't changed much. John took a sip of water and spoke slowly. Actually, that's better. Things built slowly don't collapse easily. Hawkeye pouted hearing John preach. He wondered, by the way, why did you call me out so suddenly? Do you know? You probably didn't call me out here just to drink tea, so spit it out, John praised. My God, you really are as sharp as the name Hawkeye. He opened up. It's about Subaru Narukami, the one you evaluated yesterday. Are you serious about that? Hawkeye also took a sip of water. He answered seriously, that newbie. As I said, I think his talent is greater than Subaru Narukami in his prime. But whether he can climb to that position is a different story. His eyes looked contemplative thinking about that interesting prospect. Hearing his evaluation, John pondered. I see. So that's your assessment? Hawkeye asked cheerfully. Why do you ask? John had no intention of hiding it. I plan to recruit him to the company. Hearing him say that, Hawkeye immediately agreed. As expected, you have a top-tier eye for talent. Good, but he has too few viewers for South End to recruit him, right? His recognition is too low. John fondled the glass in his hand. You're right, but listening to what you said makes me confident about him. Then he made an offer. Let's do a collaboration between you and Subaru Narukami. Increasing viewers and recognition is our job. Back at Subaru's side, Isaac challenged. Right now, it's just the two of us here. Subaru just wanted to go home. He answered indifferently. Yeah, that's right. Isaac was still rambling. This happened because you got carried and entered the dungeon, He showed disdain. Looking at you without a single scratch, you must have run away immediately. That's why I told you to stay put, buddy. He kept talking endlessly like a machine, with a face looking down on someone who got ahead by luck. Don't tell me you think you've become Subaru Narukami or something. He leaned close to him, mocking. Dreaming of mastering lightning like that streamer? Isaac put his hand on Subaru's shoulder. Subaru Narukami is fake trash. If he's dead, he should just lie quietly in the cemetery. He looked annoyed. All of you are just eyesores to me, damn it. Having finished speaking, he looked at Subaru seeking agreement, right? Subaru looked helplessly at the noisy guy in front of him. He could only sigh. I didn't expect an era filled with people imitating Subaru Narukami. Subaru also had a question he wanted to ask. I'll ask you something too. Why do you consider me an enemy to such an extent? Isaac didn't expect him to ask. He gave a simple reason. Because your name has Subaru in it. Subaru was curious. So why do you hate that name? Everyone likes that name, right? Isaac hesitated at his question. Why you? You know who my father is, and yet you still ask that. Subaru was even more confused, not understanding what was going on. What does this conversation have to do with your parents? We're adults. Why bring your parents into this when you run out of things to say? Isaac introduced, ABNH high ranker of the 9th floor. That name rang out, causing Subaru to ask in surprise. BNH? Don't tell me. The one-cut sword master. A memory from his past life appeared in Subaru's mind. An urgent notification sounded. Emergency. Something inconceivable has happened. Subaru Narukami from Blue Eyes, appearing like a comet from Earth, has defeated Jaeger Reinhardt of the Old Continent with a single strike. Subaru walked away, leaving the man amidst a completely collapsed land. It lasted less than 30 seconds. The man lay in a pool of blood, struggling to crawl up. Wait, I can still fight. Before he finished the sentence, his arm dropped down limp. That was how a high ranker of the 9th floor was defeated. Returning to reality, Subaru's way of addressing him made Isaac furious. You bastard. Don't call that name so casually. Subaru questioned. In short, the reason you consider me an enemy is because of the one-cut swordmaster. No. Is it because of your father's nickname? His eyebrows furrowed slightly. He continued. Do you know how much Subaru Hosoi had to suffer because of that? Isaac didn't want to hear another word. Shut up if you spout any more nonsense. He began to attack. Fire engulfed the two of them. Isaac roared, die. Subaru stood watching to see what he would do. Isaac's hands slowly transformed. He declared no need for chatter anymore. Just die. Isaac gathered a fireball in his hand, his mouth declaring once again, I hate Subaru Narukami. I hate Subaru Narukami so much it makes me sick. He's nothing special, but he hogged all the attention and acted high and mighty because of it. Because the guild master was like that, those people became arrogant and died along with him. He spoke with a face full of hatred. Serve them right. Right now, somewhere in hell, they're probably rotting, getting the karma they deserve. Thinking of this, Isaac smiled with satisfaction. He continued to curse while unleashing his move. You. Having that name is your ultimate bad luck. His attack rushed towards Subaru, causing a huge explosion. He sighed. He thought he had killed Subaru. Oh, I couldn't control my power. After all, he was a friend. What terrible thing have I done? Isaac couldn't stop deluding himself about his own power next. Maybe I'll go kill that masked streamer bastard. Suddenly, Subaru's voice rang out from within the ashes. Mask? Isaac panicked. He couldn't believe he could survive after that hit. Subaru stepped out proudly from the thick smoke and fire, appearing in the guise seen on the livestream Isaac just mentioned. You mean this thing? A patch of ground was scorched deep from Isaac's attack. The fire was still burning. Isaac couldn't believe his eyes. Impossible, no way, Subaru is still alive. He doesn't even have a single scratch on his body. He was astounded. You took my fire directly, how? Subaru didn't rush. He gently responded to Isaac's anger. It feels annoying, right? Finishing his sentence, he suddenly dashed straight at Isaac. Hearing a spoiled brat like you. A punch was thrown with terrifying power, slamming straight into Isaac's stomach, making his eyes roll back. Isaac's pupils shook violently. He let out a groan, ugh. Isaac collapsed at Subaru's feet. He screamed in pain, arg. Blood kept gushing from Isaac's mouth, accompanied by screams of agony. Subaru looked down with contempt, bad-mouthing them. Isaac wiped the blood from his mouth. He tried to force out each word. W-Y. You, I impossible. Subaru calmly questioned. Today, who is standing in front of you? Subaru Hosoi, whom you bullied and made cry. This masked Subaru Narukami? Or the Subaru Narukami of Blue Eyes? He gently removed the mask, his eyes looking straight at the man collapsing before him. Isaac still didn't yield. Don't joke with me. So turns out you're that streamer Subaru Narukami, right? He scrambled to stand up, sneering. What the hell, lightning isn't that big of a deal. Even trash like you learned it. He gathered power in his hand while continuing his arrogance. You think with that level, you can defeat me. The fact that a pathetic weakling not fit to carry my shoes could learn it means I'm even better than the Subaru Narukami of Blue Eyes, right? Subaru stood still watching him spout nonsense. Isaac roared in anger. Is that right, you bastard? He suddenly attacked. Contrary to his haste, Subaru simply swung his hand gently, with just one strike. Isaac's arm was severed and flew high into the air. It all happened in the blink of an eye. So fast Isaac didn't understand what just happened. Huh? Subaru gently criticized. The bad. Wrong answer. I'm amazed you can spew so much nonsense. Completely off the mark. Subaru's sword pointed straight at Isaac's neck. He stammered, wait, what do you mean? He fearfully recalled Subaru's questions. Do you know how much Subaru had to suffer because of that? It feels annoying, right? A brat like you bad-mouthing them. Only now did Isaac realize the gravity of the situation. He trembled violently. Don't tell me. Subaru patiently watched Isaac try to stammer. Why you are, the real, Narukami. As soon as he finished the sentence, Subaru delivered a fatal slash. His blood sprayed out like a waterfall. He quickly finished Isaac off. Playtime is over. Blood from his body dripped onto the ground. He quickly slumped down. Subaru put his mask back on and walked away. That was too easy on you. Subaru spoke to Subaru Hosoi's body. Consider this a thank you for lending me your body. Scene change. The next morning, at the usual cafe, but today the staff were buzzing more than usual. What's that? A fanboy of Subaru Narukami or something? Doesn't he know shame? Seems like he's streaming. Subaru was still sitting in the cafe staring at the device in his hand, ignoring the gossip behind his back. As a streamer, I'll stick to Subaru Narukami's policy of not revealing my real face. It's a huge benefit, keeping the opponent from knowing my face. Outside, a female figure walked in. Excuse me, I made you wait. The person who entered was Hasuka. She blushed shyly. Nice to meet you. I'm the one who contacted you. She quickly introduced herself. I am Hasuka, the manager. Subaru politely stood up. I am Subaru. Hasuka confusingly shook his hand. I am truly honored to meet you. Blushing, looking at Subaru's appearance, she couldn't help but exclaim internally. They really look alike. She started thinking further. If Subaru Narukami is alive and returned, what if he hides his face with a mask because he's an imposter? She stared at Subaru for too long, causing him to wonder, is something wrong? Hasuka flusteredly realized she had gone a bit too far. Yes, Hasuka recalled John's advice. Creating a good first impression to win the client's trust is key. Understand. Absolutely do not show any unreliable attitude. She worried. I messed up right from the start. Subaru didn't understand why she was tearing her hair out. He asked, are you a fan of Subaru Narukami? Hearing this, Hasuka's eyes lit up. Yes, an extremely passionate fan. Subaru explained. I'm not the real one, so calm down. Besides, manager, I think you're younger than me. Hasuka was excited. No, I'm a fan of yours too. She was indeed a true fan. When her favorite topic was touched upon, she spoke endlessly. Actually, I've been watching you since you had 0 viewers. Meaning I was your first viewer when you defeated a bat and passed Greg's challenge. But then you chose the lightning challenge to fight him fairly. I was very surprised. And after that, Subaru didn't expect her to be such a passionate fan, while Hasuka kept rambling on. With such agile and skillful movements, just watching made me feel refreshed. When you subdued it immediately, my hands were sweating. I encountered the giant fragment. Subaru was stunned listening to her every word. Is she really the first viewer? She remembers more things than I do. Inside the mask, Subaru smiled happily. I was too carefree back then. It's surprising you were watching. Being acknowledged, Hasuka was even happier. It was peak, right? I think this is destiny. That's why I went straight to the company and begged, please let me be the manager. After expressing her fangirl thoughts, she quickly returned to her professional demeanor. Alright, from now on let's act professionally to gain his trust. The contract has been prepared. Since you're probably busy, let me summarize it. She slammed the contract on the table. Regarding things like commercial ads, event broadcast clips, etc., we will help create all kinds of added value that can be generated using the Narukami icon. Subaru picked up the contract and asked, so what do I have to do? Hasuka replied, just keep streaming as usual. That's all we need. The job was so simple it made Subaru suspicious. Is being a streamer that easy? Hasuka flusteredly explained. Since you are the first person to master lightning, starting from the department head, the whole company rates you highly. She silently cheered herself on. Good job, me. One last effort. She excitedly asked one last time. So what do you think? Are the terms satisfactory? Suddenly Subaru asked, are all South End managers like you, Hasuka? Subaru's question extinguished Hasuka's smile. She confusingly shrank back. No. Everyone else is much more reliable and professional than me. I'm not that bad either. But, seeing her so flustered, Subaru quickly clarified. No. That's not what I meant by asking. Subaru glanced over Hasuka, analyzing internally, judging by the aura she emits. She's not a normal player. With someone of that level, why is she just a manager? Hasuka mumbled anxiously. I'm doomed, I'm doomed, I'm doomed, I'm doomed. Inside the mask, Subaru's face showed a hint of worry. In other words, from now on, The opponents I face will be much stronger. No time to rest. Must continue to speed up. At this moment, Asuka was anxious, her face sullen. She monologued internally again. I absolutely must create a reliable impression. What if he refuses at this rate? Should I force him to sign? Contrary to her thoughts, Subaru reached out his hand. He accepted. I understand clearly that you are someone I can trust. Asuka was surprised, not thinking he would agree. Subaru said sincerely, please help me out. Moved to tears, she happily grasped Subaru's hand tightly. I should be the one saying that. Please take care of me. The screen lit up again. Subaru appeared. This time his stream had quite a few followers. The comment section was excited to see him appear. Here he is. Hello everyone. I was waiting for you. Hey newbie, you're too close. Change that mask. That content again today. The stream screen displayed the number, 703 viewers. Subaru was amazed. 700 viewers so soon right after opening the stream. Is this thanks to Asuka's notification? Earlier, Asuka had posted a notification, skill distribution schedule guide. Not keeping the audience waiting, Subaru started entering the dungeon. Then let's start right away. The system announced, starting stage 6, Legend. The scene shifted to a forest. Rain was falling heavily. An army was stationed here. Inside a tent, many soldiers were gathering. All were surrounding the leader. Pelus spoke up, asking Falcon, where is the benefactor? Falcon replied, yes. Another soldier interjected, I find it suspicious. Should we trust someone who isn't even a knight? A few others agreed. That's right. It's hard to believe an outsider suddenly appeared and defeated the giant clan boss alone. Unless Pelus witnessed it directly, you could be deceived. Was that really the giant boss? Wasn't it a minion? Pelus was extremely angry when the soldiers insulted his benefactor. How can you people say that? Suddenly, a loud call rang out from outside. Sir Pelus. A soldier announced, Subaru, the benefactor, has awakened. Pelus quickly ran to him. Benefactor, are you okay? Subaru walked inside. Thanks to you. I can walk normally without help. When Subaru appeared, the soldier's suspicion increased. That's the hero who defeated the giant boss. I want to be polite, but he doesn't look very strong. Of course, Subaru knew what these people were thinking. It seems you people don't believe I defeated it. Or perhaps you don't want to believe it. Previously, Asuka had taught Subaru a trick by performing a save gesture. I can adjust the mic frequency so only the audience can hear my voice. Subaru silently thanked her. This is quite a useful feature in a boring situation like this. He walked past the soldiers, cursing under his breath. So annoying. The comments started getting interested. Don't look down on him. Did you just laugh under the mask? Really confident. First, thank you. A polite hand was extended. An older soldier introduced himself. I am Dale. Subaru politely replied, nice to meet you. Right? Dale expressed, I was worried about protecting the village. But everyone was trampled. Subaru wondered, asking back, trampled? Dale looked sad. Yes, by that guy. Dale's vagueness confused Subaru. That guy. You mean there's someone even more dangerous than the boss? Dale agreed. Yes. He recounted, as you may know. The true giants, the ones who once waged war against the gods, were sealed somewhere and vanish. Most giants here are more like lingering thoughts or traces they left behind. Suddenly Dale trembled with fear mentioning that name. However, the giant that appeared after you killed the boss is different. He approaches the giants of legend. I can't believe such an entity still exists. His story stimulated the comment section in the stream. So that means 8th floor level. No one has gone that far, so probably not. But if it's real, how do you defeat him? Not only the comment section panicked, but all the soldiers were also panicked after hearing Dale's story. Subaru calmly replied, then we have no choice but to defeat it. Dale marveled, seeing he wasn't afraid. Oh, quite confident, aren't you? He reminded. We are in a position where we must beg for help. But surely that's an impossible request. Everyone continued to mock. He says that because he hasn't faced it. Cut it out with that stuff. Pelus spoke up, benefactor. He recounted a legend passed down from ancient times. Thunder Mountain. At the peak of that tall mountain, George Ford, a fragment of lightning is hidden. He paused for a moment, and the only person who can find it is. I believe it can only be you. Benefactor. At the village, villagers were running for their lives. Fierce smoke and fire rose everywhere. A group of giants entered the village, but behind them a larger figure appeared, repeating, Bedin. A giant tens of times larger than the others also entered the village. It muttered strange words. My child. It grabbed a soldier. The person screamed in panic. Ah, stop. The giant lifted the human he just caught high. I'll tear you apart. Then he crushed the human in his hand like a toy. It growled. I will send you off with the blood of humanity. All the scenes just now were captured in Subaru's vision. From above, Subaru was riding a horse looking down at the village. There it is. The comment section was stimulated by the scene. Was the one defeated before his son? It's huge. Is that a real giant? Subaru pulled the reins to leave. He looked back one last time, exclaiming, he's really trying to kill everyone. Below, comments continued. The test is trying to kill us lol. Honestly, impossible things are happening lol. The test, everything is being moderated her. Before leaving, Pelus warned Subaru. It will take about 3 days for the giant to get here. If you can't find the lightning, by then, just run away. That's the only way to save your life. Benefactor. In front of Subaru was Thunder Mountain, a skyscraper-high mountain. He was on his way there. To defeat the giant, the power of lightning is indispensable. That could be the key to this challenge. A few comments popped up doubting. Try again, at least twice. Must be. Reading such comments, Subaru confidently asserted, no, there is no challenge in this tower that I cannot conquer. Suddenly he realized he misspoke. Damn it, I accidentally used a catchphrase. The comment section was excited. Really confident lol. I've heard that somewhere before. Is that a catchphrase? Suddenly the system continuously notified. Safichiasset has registered a quest. If you defeat it, you will receive 3,000 reputation points. Subaru Narukami has registered a quest. For an impossible mission, Uncle Tom Job has registered a quest for just a small amount of money. Subaru rejoiced inwardly. Good, I wasn't discovered, and that's not a bad reaction, right? Subaru pulled the reins of the horse tight. The horse neighed and stopped. He had arrived at the destination. Subaru stepped down. Subaru stared inside. A lightning fragment is hidden here. In front of Subaru was a huge high cliff. He began groping among the rocks. Subaru recalled Pelus's words. The lightning fragment is something that appears in legends. Whether it's a special power, an item, or even a person, actually, there's no information at all. Subaru asked, do you know how to get it? Pelus regretted, unfortunately. We only know the location of the mountain and the legend. But one thing is certain, Pelus affirmed. The one who wielded lightning destroyed the giants. Scene change. Hasuka was on the phone. A voice rang out from inside. What is it? Hasuka shouted joyfully. The contract has been completed. Department head. On the other side, Seohyun asked suspiciously. What did you say? Really? He was proud. Haha, you did it. Finally, Hasuka has become a decent person. Receiving the praise, she happily grabbed her bag and rushed straight into the room. Hasuka was excited. Right? With this, I'll be respected too. Wait, are you praising me? John replied, of course. I met Hawkeye, but there's something I want to tell you soon. Not letting him finish, Hasuka hung up the device. She happily lay on the bed relaxing. All right, I'm done with work. Let's watch the stream. She cheerfully turned on Subaru's stream. Watching on screen and also seeing it live. This is the ultimate joy of an otaku. The stream was right at the moment. Subaru confidently asserted, there is no challenge in this tower that I cannot conquer. Her eyes watching the live stream suddenly widened. She sat up, her face full of suspicion. Hey. Hasuka muttered to herself. A phrase from over 20 years ago was just uttered so naturally. At this moment, on Subaru's side, a large rock shook violently from a strong force. Below, the comments kept discussing. Are you using your hands? Don't tell me you're desperate. Nobody said anything. A deep dent appeared on the rock. Subaru still didn't stop. He challenged, which one is harder? He used all his strength to swing his arm again. Let's fight to the end. The punch created a huge explosion. The rock shattered into many pieces. Debris fell all around Subaru. Finally, he saw what he was looking for. Found it. Strong legs walked on large rocks. Subaru clenched his fist. In his heart, of course you guys will wonder. That feeling can't be conveyed through the stream. A massive lightning energy is calling out to my lightning strongly. Behind this door. He walked forward quickly and steadfastly. Everyone's comments popped up. The door is huge. Looks like a door the giant clan uses. How to open without a key. Break it. Your specialty. By what means? He gently reached out to touch the door. Inside, streams of golden light slowly revealed themselves. He thought, truly an overly obvious clue. In other words, the system voice rang out, creating lightning. Conductor level 3 neutralizes side effects of lightning. In his heart, the real challenge probably takes place inside. A powerful punch was delivered. Subaru leaped up. If you call me so enthusiastically, he shouted loudly, then I will respond. The golden energy source flew out, piercing the stone wall. He stood watching the whole scene, his heart calm without a ripple. The door slowly opened. He walked in slowly. The comments continued. He just keeps moving forward. A big event is about to happen. Let's go. Subaru was surprised when he saw something. His steps suddenly halted. As if making up his mind, he continued walking forward steadfastly. The mechanical voice continued, entering the path traveled by lightning. You cannot leave until the stage is cleared. Everyone stood silently, each doing their own thing. Dale asked, Pelus, do you really think he will get the lightning? Pelus confidently replied, he can. I'm certain. He continued, even though he's an outsider, you place a lot of trust in him. He smiled happily. That person has proven himself. There's no reason to doubt. What if it is lightning? We're all going to die anyway. A trembling voice rang out from behind. You don't understand. The soldier bit his lip. That giant, the power he possesses. I experienced it directly in that village. Pelus sat down next to him. Even so, we can't give up, right? Let's place our trust in him once. And that young hero who did everything for us without asking for anything in return. His eyes welled up with tears. Easy for you to say. Before he could finish, suddenly everyone panicked. Everything shook violently. A frightened voice rang out. Not good. A person rushed in, looking panicked. He's here. Everyone was terrified. Mouths agape in disbelief. In the cold cave, Subaru coldly looked at everything around him. He slowly walked in. In his heart, what do you want me to do here? Comments popped up. Nothing there. Nothing at all. Is there nothing? Is the lightning too fast to see? He gazed contemplatively. That makes sense. Lightning before discharge is just charges scattered in the air. So naturally, I won't be able to see it. Turns out it's not a visual search challenge. Name of this challenge, The Path Traveled by Lightning. And the powerful lightning deep inside is calling me. It's pull. Suddenly he was stunned, pupils contracting violently. He punched the ground hard. Maybe this challenge is. Lightning invisible to the naked eye is scattered in the air. And the deeper I go, the stronger it reacts. Suddenly a golden light flashed. A rock flew towards him. They created an explosion. The comments continued. What was that just now? What the hell? In his heart, must be right. Even knowing that, I still have to move forward. You really have no taste. Seems like this time they are testing my endurance. His eyes were sharp and cold. Basically, if I can't endure it, I die. The mechanical voice rang out. Al Ori has donated 100 reputation points. What are you afraid of? Many more people continued to donate reputation points to him. He strode forward aggressively and resolutely. His eyes were sharp and cold. Quest reward. Thank you everyone very much. A pot of soup was boiling, steaming hot. Seeger quietly sat on the chair. He sighed, his eyes thoughtful. Raina opened the door forcefully, making him startle. He quickly covered something with his hand to her surprise. She sighed in relief, teasing. What are you hiding? You're watching something dirty, aren't you? He stammered. I'm not hiding anything. My eyes are just tired. That's all. She sat down next to him, smiling happily. Heard your hair grows faster. You know that. He was helpless. Don't say weird things. I told you, it's not like that. She continued, since you said that, I stopped watching the stream, but can't help it. He hesitated. I see. So, what do you plan to do here? She ate a piece of cake, looking calm. What reaction is that? You mean I can't relax on the sofa? He stammered, his voice trembling slightly. No, it's not like that. If that's the case, I'll endure and try my best. He yelled angrily. You didn't have to say that. She covered her ears, grumpy. Hey, my ears are about to explode. Don't shout suddenly like that. He continued yelling. Rest all you want. Don't mind me. His hand trembled, sweat pouring out endlessly as he held the phone. He opened his mouth. You're always stubborn and never listen to others. She frowned. Truly a weird guy. Getting up abruptly. So annoying. He was curious. Where are you going? You know, you can stay longer. You can eat a few pieces of bread or even lie down if you want. Seeing her go into the room and slam the door, he let out a long breath. He held up the phone. That was close. Almost got caught. If she knew I was watching the stream, she would definitely make a fuss again. I don't even dare imagine it. His face looked worried. In his heart, even if our positions were reversed, Subaru wouldn't forget us. A voice echoed from the phone. Basically, if I can't endure it, I die. Seeger was lost in thought. His personality and way of speaking are truly just like Subaru. Thanks for the quest reward. However, you're not like Subaru at all when it comes to desperately grinding for reputation points. Don't know what this is about. Suddenly a hand gently placed on his shoulder. A hoarse voice rang out. You should ask yourself that question. Raina put her hand on his shoulder. His face went pale. Her voice sounded dangerous. You think I really didn't notice, huh? Trying to trick me. You're still green. The mechanical voice rang out. Create the path of lightning. Tears fell slowly. Subaru fell silent, feeling everything was too impermanent. He walked slowly, seeming to have no strength left. Suddenly, golden light surrounded him. System voice rang out. Progress to 0.3%. His arm became sensitive, shaking uncontrollably. In his heart, a familiar feeling. Speaking of lightning, I've faced it more times than I can count. His eyes became sharp and cold, resolute. System voice urgently. Progress to 0.3%. He thought, still a long way to go. He continued walking, still quite hesitant in his heart, but let's assume the goal is very close. Comments popped up. Why doesn't he run? Wouldn't it be better if he ran? Hurry up, please. He coldly looked at the comment lines. I might not read chat from now on. Honestly, just run. Seems he's too injured to read chat, greedy for life, afraid of death. He thought, reaching the goal is obvious. But if possible, I want to aim for more than that. Subaru's face appeared on the computer screen. Hawkeye stared thoughtfully at the screen broadcasting live. He thought of John's words. You and Subaru Narukami should collaborate. Thinking of that, he said coldly, how long has it been since John personally executed a project? John put a glass of water down. He spoke up. I always tell you, right? In the entertainment streaming world, you can only do half the work. Understanding this is part of the evaluation. He continued slowly. Who one's family is and which players exist in this era determine popularity. He smiled approvingly. That's right, Subaru Narukami's stream isn't about interacting with fans, but resembles a veteran player's vlog. Subaru might be a rookie streamer, but he just needs to keep his commentary style like usual. His voice was slow. This might be a real opportunity. Riding a comet to become a star that can shine alongside him. Hawkeye seemed motivated hearing that. He clenched his fist as if determined. His eyes flashed, pupils contracting violently. Then he smiled. You could run away here because you're not confident about climbing the tower, right? I also want to become greater than anyone else. You know. He silently looked up at the sky, calm. He sat on the chair, lazily placing both hands on the back of his head. A star. Reaching out to touch a distant star. Can I really become like them? Returning to reality, he was shocked to see himself reaching out for something. His voice helpless. While working. What am I doing? He looked closely at the screen, shouting in surprise. This is, hey, are you crazy? On the screen, the live broadcast was still ongoing. Subaru stood there withstanding the golden energy. His whole body was heavily injured. He still tried to resist, moving forward. His steps trembled, but he stubbornly took another step firmly. Subaru panted continuously in pain. In his heart, the stronger the lightning, the deeper it goes into my body. He looked down at his hand, thinking, this should be enough. He continued. Even the smallest meridians throughout the body, including the two branches Ren and Du, are starting to be filled with lightning. Mechanical voice rang out. Progress 20.7%. Process of opening small meridians is underway. Lightning is stabilizing in the body. Magic power +1. He thought. I must control it no matter what. Ren and Du are the body's central pathways. Small meridians refer to the vessels connecting the entire body. Small meridians open means internal energy has reached every corner of the body. He seemed quite worried. Subaru Hosoi didn't go through the process of purifying small meridians. In other words, I'm taking a shortcut. System voice cold status effect. Electric shock started. Drops of fresh blood slowly flowed down. Subaru thought, normally people do this with their mana. Relying on external lightning makes it easier, but brings unimaginable pain. Subaru slowly closed his eyes, resigned. Drops of blood fell. Along every path he walked, staining the ground red. Hasuka sat on the bed holding a phone. She was watching Subaru's live broadcast. She seemed worried, sweat dripping down in large drops, in her heart, opening small meridians. You plan to do that here. Moving in your body relying not on your mana or internal energy, but external force. Surely the pain is indescribable. Most people couldn't handle it and would definitely faint. Even if dying in a challenge doesn't affect reality. She stared at Subaru's image on the screen. The pain is just like in real life. She gritted her teeth, body trembling. So why? Her eyes filled with tears. Why go to this extent? Subaru continued walking amidst the roaring golden machine noise. Progress 50.3%. Process of opening small meridians is underway. Lightning is stabilizing in the body. Magic power +1. His body covered in wounds, he collapsed to the ground. It's all my fault. He was utterly disappointed. It's like I was the one who killed them. Seohyun stared at the phone screen. He spoke up. I always say this, right? There is no challenge that cannot be conquered. He confidently affirmed. Don't worry. He spoke to everyone's joy. In the end, I am the winner. Subaru's voice was weak, seemingly out of strength. He seemed frantic. If I wasn't so careless, if I didn't push them with my overconfidence. His eyes clouded, tears falling. Then no one would have had to die. Kazuki, with a blood-stained face, spoke up. Honestly. He smiled contemptuously. You guys failed because you were too arrogant. Subaru went mad. He ran very fast forward. Everyone. Behind his steps were pools of fresh blood. He constantly blamed himself. It's my fault. Helpless, he collapsed onto the ground. Seemingly out of strength, he gasped for breath, his wounded hands trying to reach out as if to grasp the last ray of hope. Scene changed to a vast grassland with endless green grass. Subaru glanced at the leaves flying around him, mumbling. Where is this? He noticed a group of people sitting around a fire ahead. Subaru froze for a moment, his whole body suddenly becoming tense. His pupils widened to the max, exclaiming, everyone. Suhei, Soya, Kei, Yori, Geika, Seeger, and Choina. Subaru hurriedly ran towards them, wondering, is it all just a dream? Not long after, he approached their backs. Subaru, teary-eyed, smiled. Of course, it must be so, right? Oh God, truly a terrible nightmare. Hey, at least listen to what I dreamed about just then. A voice rang out, Subaru, you really led us to our deaths. I don't want to die. These words stunned Subaru. Suhei, Seeger? Shino sitting on the side interjected. You always talked about big things, only two. Her body now had a hole in the middle of her abdomen, her tone full of resentment. Why didn't you protect us? He opened his eyes wide, only able to call her name, Chino. Immediately after, a red flame flared up right in the middle. Subaru sweated profusely, stammering speechless. He couldn't do anything before the fire burning them all. Subaru reached out his arm, shouting loud. Wait. He screamed helplessly in the sea of fire. Everyone. Don't go. Wait a moment. Subaru, in distress, squeezed his eyes shut to endure this loss. He collapsed, mouth constantly mumbling, please. But the fire flared up more and more, creating a blinding light. That light helped Subaru return to reality. He knelt on one knee, thinking. Turns out this is a hallucination that often happens while opening meridians. Almost suffered chi deviation. System immediately notified. Progress 97.87%. Opening small meridians. Lightning is stabilizing in your body. Magic power +1. Subaru's face darkened, wondering who came up with this crazy challenge. He stood up straight in front of the glowing golden lightning, thinking. Thanks for reminding me why I'm still alive. Kazuki's face gradually appeared in Subaru's mind. Scene changed to a chaotic place. Villagers were standing behind a line of knights. Everyone held weapons in hand, terrified to the extreme. A giant monster appeared immediately outside the barrier. They only knew to wait for the moment to charge. Suddenly it bared its teeth and smiled, showing defiance. Seeing that, the knights turned to discuss. Are you kidding me? Is that the real boss? So the masked guy abandoned us. Suddenly a voice from behind rang out, making the people turn around. Our benefactor will definitely return. Pelus walked up, affirming firmly. You trusted the fate of this village to a stranger whose name you didn't even know. And now you dare doubt him. They hesitated, denying. We didn't. He frowned in disapproval. How shameful. And you call yourselves knights. Suddenly a hand patted Peleus's shoulder. You're right. Dale added, before blaming others, we should remember that protecting the village is our duty. A moment later, he drew his sword. Dale pointed the sword forward, declaring, Knights are not the ones protected, but the ones who protect others. Finishing his words, he rushed forward with lightning speed. Dale raised his sword, inspiring the crowd behind to follow. Today, let us die like true knights. On Subaru's side, system notified, progress 99%. A circle with a glowing golden orb immediately appeared. He looked at it, bewildered and suspicious. What is that? But based on progress, that must be the goal. Suddenly it displayed, fatigue has reached 97, making Subaru pause for a moment. Just, streams of golden spiritual energy pierced through his body. Subaru ran towards the emitting energy, telling himself, one more step. System warned, you must reduce fatigue. Going further will be very dangerous. Yet one of his feet still stepped forward. Then at the same time, a foot stomped heavily on the ground. It turned out to be Dale taking momentum to jump up. He swung his sharp sword to the side. Dale used all his strength to slash a decisive line at the monster. Blood from its body immediately sprayed out everywhere. The monster looked up, roaring a terrified scream. It looked down, throwing a punch at Dale but missed. Meanwhile, Pelus was rushing in with sword in hand. He shouted loudly, "Leave the rest to me." Pelus quickly placed his foot on a nearby rock. He used force to jump in front of the monster. Startled, it looked up at Pelus rushing towards it. He gripped the sword hilt tightly, face full of killing intent. A second later, Pelus delivered a slash right in the middle of the monster's face. It gritted its teeth, growling a few times in annoyance. Then the monster fell backward, chunks of flesh flying out. Its entire body crashed to the ground just as Pelus landed to the side. Seeing this, the other knights cheered happily. "We did it. Sir Pelus and Sir Dale finally took it down. Die already. Stomping around here as if this is your home, filthy monster." "It's all thanks to you, Dale," Pelus exclaimed. "The most dangerous one you warned us about is dead. Finally, we can rest." He looked up, gasping for breath, replying no. Dale looked up and continued, "Not the one I spoke of. Those guys flip-flop faster than flipping pancakes. Turns out it wasn't that big of a deal. Just Sir Dale and Sir Pelus being too strong. Now we just need to finish off the remaining giants." And before he could finish, he was stepped on by a gigantic foot. Dale panicked looking at that figure, affirming, "That's the one." Pelus shouted in fear. "This guy is on a completely different level." Scene changed to Subaru. He reached out to the circle amidst the notification, progress 99.99%. Subaru clenched it, mumbling, "I will make you apologize in hell." Then system displayed, progress 100%. His pupils glowed, tone full of killing intent. "Kazuki, I'll take your head as a souvenir." Meanwhile, glowing golden energy sources were radiating around Subaru. A second later, the lightning currents focused entirely on him. Subaru turned his back, thinking inwardly, finally. He exhaled, sighing, "It's over." Suddenly, long black streaks began to appear in the whites of Subaru's eyes. His whole body leaned back as he absorbed that energy source. System continuously notified, completed opening small meridians. Magic amplification rate increased by 20%. Casting speed of all skills increased by 20%. All stats +2. Subaru gritted his teeth, enduring. "If you still had enough strength to launch another attack, you should have at least warned me." After that, he lay sprawled on the shattered ground. System displayed, Stage 6 Legend has been completed. Scene changed to John sitting thoughtfully in front of the computer screen. He looked at the comments. "The difficulty is crazy." He fainted again. "Wonder when he'll wake up this time." He muttered, "Recklessness only goes so far." Oh, looks like he's not suited for streaming. Just then, the phone vibrated. A call from Hawkeye. He picked up. "I'm currently watching Subaru Narukami's stream," he exclaimed. "You too, John? It's crazy, right?" John offered a solution. "Calm down and explain so everyone can understand." Hawkeye smiled brightly. This guy is truly going to be a star. As a player and streamer, he wondered, "You think so?" "Actually, I think it will be hard for him." Clearly, he's more like a player than a streamer. He scratched his head, agreeing. "That's right. That is the core content everyone watches this stream for. A Subaru Narukami almost like the original." Subaru Narukami is not a streamer but a player. In other words, we will witness the birth of the player Subaru Narukami. John frowned, interrupting. In real time. Just then on the live screen, Subaru's arm gradually moved. He stood up with difficulty, making the commentators excited. He woke up early this time. "Good to see he's alive. Finally awake, huh?" Subaru slowly opened his eyes, breathing getting faster. He held his head, cursing silently. "Damn it, what's my fatigue?" System immediately displayed, 81. Subaru judged, "Good, it's lower than last time." Probably the higher stats took effect. The final lightning strike was unforeseen. But the result isn't bad. A series of information was transmitted, completed quest, received reputation points. Current reputation points, 20,000 for 120, he exclaimed, saved up a significant amount. An icon appeared, rank D-type, skill. Raise a skill limit of items and skills used by player. Subaru summoned his lightning sphere in his hand, telling himself, but still not enough to improve skill quality. If I defeat that giant, maybe it will be enough. And this is the key to taking him down. Information of the sphere appeared, lightning spear. Untradeable, type, weapon, grade, equipment. An ancient spear carved from pure lightning. A single throw will deal terrible damage. Decisive nature. Remaining uses 1. The comment section went chaotic. Heavy hitter. Throw a million shots. That thing dropped here. Are you kidding? By the way, it's for his account. Subaru gasped for breath, thinking, although it's a what-time use item. Normally this thing doesn't even exist on the 8th floor, let alone this early. Then he spoke up. Exactly, doesn't look like a spear, right? A second later he reached out his finger and pressed a button. Subaru then stretched his muscles, muttering. High-grade items can change shape based on certain conditions. Everyone commented immediately. How do you even know that? Bro talks like a pro already. Subaru walked alone into the cave. Alright, let's go destroy that thing. The crowd cheered through the small screen. Blow it up with lightning. Take him down. Scene changed to Pelus, face showing clear fear. Dale and he stared blankly at the giant eye in front of them. The giant just stretching himself made everyone terrified. It flipped its long thick white hair back. The monster let out a shrill scream, mouth full of drool. System displayed, the giant seed has swallowed the giant's record. A knight suddenly ran towards it, making Pelus shout, Hey, what do you think you're doing? He laughed helplessly with tears rolling down. I said it, right? You guys know nothing. Oh gods, I am not like those stupid humans. He knelt down begging, please have mercy on me. The giant looked down from above, his voice mocking, gods. Don't equate me with those cowardly, filthy beings. Dale hurriedly ran to persuade him. What are you doing? Get up. Pelus, hurry, take the villagers as far as possible, run. Suddenly something made him freeze. He stood in the back, panic-stricken, screaming, Dale. A crash sounded as the two went to heaven right in front of Pelus. He looked at the surrounding smoke and dust, telling himself, no chance to win. Pelus looked back to find a way and an escape route. He looked at the giants behind the village and realized they were blocked. Pelus's eyes opened wide, sweat pouring down endlessly. He gritted his teeth tight, composing himself. A second later Pelus shouted, I know who killed your son. I know exactly who did it. The giant immediately spoke up. The one who killed the boy is. It bent down, tone full of killing intent. Who? He drew his sword, speaking hesitantly, that is. Pelus pointed his sword in a direction. Over there. The one who killed your son went that way, gathering power to kill you and your race. Finished speaking, he silently prayed, please take the bait, go that way. The giant still stared in the direction Pelus pointed. It turned around roaring, liar. Your words are tainted with lies. So the one who killed my son is not here. You just pointed that ragged sword at a random place. If you don't answer immediately, suddenly a bolt of lightning emitted from the mountain range, making it freeze. The monster was extremely surprised by that scene. Pelus was equally surprised. On the other side, a lightning tornado was exploding on the mountain peak. He panicked, sweat dripping, questioning benefactor. At this moment, Subaru stood on the mountain peak looking down. System displayed, Stage 7 lightning will now begin. He mumbled. Good, this is the final stage. A bunch of comments popped up. And it gets bigger again, right? It's still growing. Subaru pondered. If something stronger than that appears, this challenge can't be called second floor content anymore. The comments were buzzing. This is a twisted type of misery preservation. Even if I gathered everyone, you really plan to fight that thing? Shouldn't you run away? Subaru, with countless scratches on his body, spoke up, no problem. No need to think too much. I just need to hit them with one strike. He summoned the lightning spear, thinking, currently, it's not an opponent I can face head-on. I have to take it down before it rushes here. A second later Subaru raised it high, system announced, activating lightning spear. A bolt of lightning shot straight into the sky. It displayed, initializing lightning spear. Activation rate 10.1%. Following that were hundreds, tens of thousands of lightning bolts shooting up. They swirled together like an endless tornado. Subaru just stood there, transferring energy to the sky. System suddenly reported, fatigue has reached 84. His hand refused to lower. Fatigue has reached 85. Then Subaru curled his fingers as if holding a weapon in his hand. A spear instantly appeared in his hand. Information transmitted. Activation rate 33.1%. Subaru gripped it tightly in his hand. System reported, conductor neutralizes side effects of lightning spear. Neutralization failed. Compatibility very low. He coughed up a mouthful of blood, marveling silently. As expected, my skill level is too low to use a legendary item. Even so, this body has to endure. Warning sound rang out, fatigue has reached 88, activation rate 50%. A series of comments displayed seeing Subaru's cold face. Since learning lightning, he's suffered a lot. Maybe he's starting to enjoy it. At this rate, he's definitely addicted. Subaru startled for a moment seeing the giant looking at him. Turns out they noticed, huh? The commentators affirmed. How could they not notice? Even my grandma could see it. He pointed the weapon forward, exclaiming, "That's right," after creating such a big scene. It would be weird if no one noticed. System notified. Activation rate 78.5%. The giant looked at the streak of light in front of him, mumbling, "Lightning." It stepped towards it, tone hateful. "So you are the one who killed my son." The monster mumbled as it ran. "It was you." Pelus saw this and called out loudly, "Where are you going? I am your opponent." He suddenly glanced to his side. At this moment, several giants had rushed in amidst the sea of fire. The monster ignored them, eyeing the mountain range erupting with lightning, mumbling, "My son, Betten." It darkened its face, continuing, "You must have suffered." The monster continued moving, whispering, "I will return that suffering." The sound of its thumping footsteps grew more violent. The monster couldn't hold back and ran very fast. It threw a punch forward, roaring loudly, "With interest, to all of you." The giant used force to jump powerfully towards Subaru to attack. It opened its wide mouth to roar. He gripped the lightning spear tightly. System board notified, initializing lightning spear. Activation rate 88.5%. He thought to himself, chance is 50 to 50. Hit or miss, that's it. In chat, everyone discussed. How do you plan to launch the attack? Can't joke around. Too fast? If he misses, is it instant death? Subaru's eyes glared. Don't take your eyes off him. An image of the captain appeared. He instructed, don't look away. No matter what happens, keep eyes on the target. That is where a spear is thrown. Forget about throwing straight or creating a perfect arc. Throw all those superfluous thoughts out of your head. Predict his movements. You don't need to do that. Trajectory. Ignore it too. Forget even the weight and shape of the spear. You are not like other spear users, because you are. Narukami Subaru. Hearing the captain say that, Subaru gripped the spear. A slight smile curling on his face. Returning to the present, system notified, initializing lightning spear. Activation rate 95.2%. Subaru asked himself alone, so what should I do? He sighed. After all, it's not like I'm about to throw an ordinary spear. He smirked. In that case, simple. Don't throw it, shoot it. The giant was closing in, but he was still gripping the lightning spear tightly. Chat panicked. What are you doing? Launch it. You'll die before you stop hesitating. Subaru stared intently at the giant, just a little more. It stared intently at him as it rushed in, faster and faster. Its foot stomped hard on the ground to gather force. Rocks cracked. It rushed fast like an arrow, clenching its fist of darkness. The giant jumped powerfully, soaring above Subaru's head. Lightning from his attack shot out, creating powerful destructive force. He got into attack stance. Notification sound rang out. Activation rate 100%. Initialization complete. His hand clenched tight. Pulling the spear in his hand back, Subaru resolved only one chance. No matter what, the giant beast roared, reaching its hand out towards him as it descended. He thought, I will finish him in one strike. Thinking that, he used all his strength to throw the lightning spear in his hand. The spear flew, piercing the giant beast, creating an earth-shattering explosion. The giant beast cried out, tears streaming down. Before dying, it still mumbled, Betten. Then its body disintegrated. In the smoke and dust, Subaru's feet walked out safely. He walked away coolly. The chat exploded. Hit for real. Crazy. So strong. Watching this was definitely not a waste of life. Notification appeared. The seed that swallowed lightning has been defeated. Completed stage 7 lightning. Followed by a series of notifications. Level up. Strength +2. Agility +2. Constitution +3. Focus +1. Magic +1. Received 5,000 achievement points. Received item, Lightning Heart. A glowing stone appeared in front of him. Subaru reached out. Lightning Heart. Is this it? When his hand touched the stone, it glowed. The blinding light forced him to close his eyes. A while later, he slowly opened his eyes in astonishment. The story naturally ended. Subaru looked around. Where he stood was a land entirely purple. Where am I? Suddenly, a giant human figure appeared in the sky, staring at him. He startled. The pressure emitting from it caused Subaru pain. What is going on? I can't speak. He knelt down on the water. My body won't move. A series of figures watched him. Notifications appeared incessantly. Unknown person is watching you. 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 Subaru's eyes widened. Are you trying to say something to me? The lightning heart in his hand glowed, light piercing through his fingers. The darkness was dispelled by the lightning heart. revealing a fresh sky. System board appeared, main stage. Lightning will now begin. Through the lightning heart, you can learn to find clues in the village. Subaru escaped that strange place and only then noticed the chat. Why sit down when it's finished? Subaru Narukami has ended the livestream. About to faint again? He looked up. Turns out it wasn't a cutscene, sorry. I fainted for a moment. The chat cheered seeing him stand up. Why faint so many times in just one test? As expected of Subaru's shadow. That truly was a legendary level test. Subaru checked the chat board. Alright, if I don't claim the reputation points then. Notification appeared. Completed quest from Angel Season. Received 3,000 reputation points. Completed quest from War God Hawkeye. Received 3,000 reputation points. Current reputation points, 40,120. The chat was bustling. Rich now, huh? Alright, back to the village. Show us the lightning heart. He sighed. I'm a bit tired. So, everyone heard that and got annoyed. At a time like this, you're making it hard for me, greedy guy. He said goodbye, so, see you all later. Then Subaru disconnected. Subaru Narukami has ended the livestream. Scene change. At a shop, Hasuka's voice rang out. Really? You did very well in that challenge. Subaru wondered, not really. Is that kind of stream okay? She reassured. Yes, absolutely perfect. Yesterday the peak viewership was even over 3,000. You didn't notice, right? He was stunned. Over 3,000? Sorry, I was focused on the challenge so I didn't notice. She startled. Oh no. That was a compliment. You don't understand. Over 3,000 for a new streamer is phenomenal. The timing you ended the stream was also perfect. In a way, your fatigue turned out to be good. Subaru confirmed, right? That's exactly the part everyone is most curious about. Like wanting to watch the next episode of a drama. Hasuka wondered, you plan it like that? He replied, I plan to check the rewards together with viewers in the next stream. That way, my reaction will be genuine, not acting. She gaped. Really? Turns out you understand too. Must be the old man worried for nothing. Actually, today I prepared a gift for you. He was surprised. Gift? She crossed her legs. Something you won't be able to refuse. She smiled mysteriously, an extremely special gift. Hasuka blushed. Please search for the stream of a person named Hawkeye. Hearing that, Subaru started searching as she said, yes. A blonde man chatting appeared. Alright, as the title says, today's topic is this. Or wait, should I use another topic for today? Anyway, no more nonsense. Everyone watch this first. Narukami II. Or the person who will become the original, everyone is discussing lively. Hello. Content about Narukami again? And Otakua, that challenge was truly crazy. He continued, I will explain in detail bit by bit. A long while later, the evening sun shone through the door gap. He was still talking. In the challenge where he had to endure. This guy. In other words, he set an additional challenge for himself while taking the exam. Hasuka sat opposite, silently watching Subaru with a flushed face. Hawkeye raised a finger. Oops, sorry, let me summarize. I don't need to say much more about this point, so I'll summarize in one sentence. Subaru listened silently to him. He himself is Subaru Narukami. His voice was full of arrogance. No further explanation needed. He looked at Hasuka. Maybe the manager thinks so too? Suddenly she leaned forward. Can I ask something? He was calm. Ask away. She stammered. I know it's weird for a manager to ask something like this, and I know it's rude, but I don't mean anything by it. Her cheeks flushed red for a moment. Sweat also trickled down her cheek. Hasuka gathered all her determination. Why are you so obsessed with money, Narukami? She looked up. It's not just for money, right? Subaru crossed his arms, silent for a while thinking. Hasuka gaped watching him think, feeling a bit jittery. His answer was very blunt. No, it is for money. No other reason. Her face turned redder than a tomato from embarrassment, steam rising. She sat down in shame. Money is important, true? Sorry for asking a weird question. Subaru replied. It's okay. At this moment she opened her briefcase, right? The gift. Let's talk about the gift. The Hawkeye you just watched is affiliated with Southend, and he is a trustworthy streamer with a 6-year contract. His analytical stream style is a moneymaker, and he has a huge fanbase. His eye for people is very good. And take this. The Hawkeye stream just now, and all revenue from future streams related to your content will be split 50-50. Subaru asked suspiciously, split with whom? Hasuka explained, with you of course. Since the content is derived from your material, ads, donations, archives, everything. Subaru accepted the thick stack of documents, really since signing with the management company. One good thing after another has happened. She was embarrassed again hearing him say that. She lowered her eyes to the table, scratching her cheek. You think so? He replied, yes. This is an unexpected gift. Hasuka brushed her hair. So, this sounds a bit sudden, but as a gesture of goodwill. Do you want to collaborate with Hawkeye? Time passed quickly. By now Subaru had returned to his home. He took off his mask. When meeting outside, maybe I don't need the mask. And I don't need to emphasize money matters like that. He stood in front of the mirror looking at himself. The more relationships I have, the harder it gets to know how much I should hide. He looked at the current system board. Conductor level 3 is leveled up. Conductor rank C-type, skill, level 4. When used, neutralize the side effects of skills and items. Can upgrade rank and level of skill. Reputation points needed, 80,000. Subaru was skeptical, rank C? And it needs 80,000 reputation points. And my balances. Current reputation points, 120. He was disappointed. Emphasize or not, money is still the top priority. At least the collaboration with Hawkeye is taking place the day after tomorrow. I'll be able to earn another sum. He reached into the system space, and perhaps. He took out a flower. Now I need to do some things first. Scene changed to Hasuka. She was lying face down on her pillow. Her face was still red. Both her hands red too. Hasuka remembered Subaru's handsome face like a male god. Is it really for money? She punched the pillow hard and shouted, that's right. Her thoughts wandered further. Behind that stylish mask, an extraordinary mystery is hidden. If I dig deeper, I might hurt Hasuka. She punched the pillow repeatedly. I won't ask. I'm curious, but I won't pry. Subaru propped his chin, pointing at her. Since meeting you, Hasuka, one good thing after another has happened. Hasuka's face turned even redder like a ripe fruit. She swung her fist. Me too. The punch was so strong the pillow tore, revealing the cotton inside. Feathers flew all over the room. She yearned. Subaru Narukami, a man with secrets no one knows. Meeting him in real life only makes him look more amazing. At this moment, shift to the 7th floor, Noxfera, where buildings were both magnificent and emitted dread. At a glowing room in the main castle, someone was watching TV while working out. On the screen, Hawkeye's broadcast was replaying. I don't need to say much more about this point, so I'll summarize in one sentence. The other person's clenched fist was soaked in sweat. Creaking sounds echoed in the room. He did pull-ups while saying, I don't like it. Pick one, intimate or polite address. And who is this guy anyway? Lemoyne replied, a streamer named Hawkeye. He boasts an average viewership of 8,000. He is Blue Zone's Kurokawa Amon. Amon let go of the bar. A streamer, huh? I'll personally experience it a bit. He approached. But for now, more than Hawkeye, I want you to focus on Subaru Narukami in that stream. He was surprised. Oh. The imposter learned that phrase. On screen, Subaru's previous battle was playing. Amon marveled. Actually impressive. Lemoyne spoke up. You think so? He replied, Sir Suhei, the Spear Knight of Blue Eyes once said, while throwing, not taking your eyes off the opponent is the most important thing. He was astonished. Wait, Amon, you remember even ordinary quotes like that? He looked up. I trained hard to absorb everything about them. Their breathing, everything. They are players who once stood at the peak. But everyone overlooked an important thing. Blue Eyes didn't just have Subaru Narukami. Every member was the strongest. And there are suspicious things surrounding their deaths. Just then Hawkeye's voice rang out. He himself is Subaru Narukami. No further explanation needed. Amon heard that and was dissatisfied. What right does that showy brat have to be so arrogant, talking about them so rudely? Lemoyne replied, that's the biggest problem with streamers, isn't it? They are ready to abandon faith and pride in a split second just to create attention. He couldn't take it anymore and used the remote to turn off the DVD. He turned to him, utterly annoyed. Why do you keep showing me this? He stammered. It wasn't me. Guildmaster Kyozo requested I show you. Amon was surprised hearing that. Itsuki? He ordered his subordinate. Lightning is the symbol of Blue Eyes. And Blue Eyes is the predecessor of our Blue Zone. A cart was pushed in. We learned that this streamer loves money. Lemoyne pulled off the covering cloth. Golden light shone out. His eyes were shocked to the extreme at the sight. Underneath that cloth were many gold bars. He continued, we have secured enough budget. Must bring him back, at all cost. Eamon's voice contained astonishment. Are you kidding me? He rubbed his chin, muttering. He is a money grubber? In the village, everyone was working hard to repair the reported system. Stage 2 of the challenge was about to begin. Pelus waved his hand instructing the work. Gather all the injured in one place first. Treat the critically wounded. Distribute medicine to the lightly wounded as soon as possible. Suddenly, familiar footsteps rang out, catching his attention. Pelus involuntarily smiled in relief as if meeting a saint. He called out his name loudly in joy. Benefactor, you're finally awake. How do you feel? You fainted right outside the village. We were very worried. If you didn't wake up, I truly wouldn't know what to do. Subaru swung his arms to stretch, replying, still dizzy. Pelus nodded to let him know. Yes, it just happened yesterday, so that's understandable. Not discussing this anymore, he suggested, can we talk at the inn later? I have a few questions. He nodded, immediately agreeing, of course, ask whatever you like. Saying that, Pelus placed his hand on his chest to say goodbye. See you later. Subaru stood watching him from afar, judging. Pelus is truly a good person. In the comment section, a few people agreed. Maybe it's time to end his misery. Happy wedding. A while later, he returned to the small wooden house. The first thing he did was open the system board. Let's check the rewards first. Subaru held the shiny glowing orb in his hand, reading the description. Lightning heartbound. Unique. No level requirement. 30% lightning resistance. 20% lightning damage. Strong resistance to electric shock. He was so surprised he exclaimed, impossible, really? A few people were curious hearing him say that. Impossible, good or bad, disappointed or excited. Maybe both. What they wondered about. Only Subaru knew in his heart. The stats were perfect for a lightning user. No one knew that behind the mask was a radiant smile. This thing is to high tier. While rejoicing over the new treasure, a knock on the door interrupted. Here, please accept this. Someone carrying a large basket of fruit opened the door and walked in. Both netizens and Subaru were quite surprised. Huh, fruit? Pelus poked his head out to greet. Did you sleep well? Those people teased. Boyfriend visiting? Someone missed you a lot. Why fruit? A moment later, the two were sitting at the table facing each other talking. Pondering for a moment, Subaru spoke up. Turns out the legend was real. Pelus, although misunderstanding, enthusiastically played along. Yes, I also saw that light. You saved the whole village. Saying that, Subaru took the item off his shoulders, saying, this thing dropped from the giant's corpse. It's called Lightning Heart. Even he couldn't hide his emotions. Wait, impossible. Seeing his expression, Subaru asked hopefully, do you know what it is? With his expectation, Pelus said, no, looks strange. The answer was like a bucket of cold water splashed on Subaru's face. The netizens were buzzing. Yeah, that's right, he probably knows. That guy knows everything. Pelus lowered his head in shame. I'm sorry, I only know the ancient legends. I don't know if they're real or what happened after. Seeing his helplessness, Subaru reassured him. It's fine, just tell me what you know. Hearing that, he began to recount. I only know to legends. Subaru repeated curiously, too. He recalled an image he had seen. The first one says that thunder was used to kill the giants. It seems you are the one who possesses it, benefactor. And the second one says that the gods and giants fought over thunder. Hearing this, Subaru asked, fought over it? Pelus nodded in confirmation. Yes. This is basically a legend within a legend. The gods and giants went to war for control of thunder. The giants lost. So this gem, someone created it intentionally. Subaru touched it, spinning it around as he wondered. Who came in second? Even if the legend doesn't say it, the reason is clear. Pelus spoke up to answer, for humanity to use thunder, and the reason humanity needs it. His expression changed completely when he uttered the words, gods and titans. Thinking of them, Pelus realized they were too strong for humanity. He thought of the day when every human would possess a thunder orb of their own. Looking at the stone, Pelus affirmed, this thing was created so that humanity could face them and win. After he finished his story, the system announced that all the forgotten legends of humanity had been clarified. Thunder challenge complete. Skill level increased. Achievement points, 17,050. Thunder upgraded from level 1 to level 3. Before he knew it, the system whisked Subaru away right before Pelus's eyes. Transferring to the third floor, he panicked and shouted, benefactor, what's happening? The light quickly faded, taking Subaru with it, leaving Pelus bewildered. Huh? A magnificent and grand palace appeared. This was the third floor, Inn. The teleportation circle lit up right in the center of the great city. Subaru appeared like a descended god, causing the netizens to flood the chat. He finally reached the third floor. Finally, has he really arrived? The locals looked on with boredom. Another fake Narukami. When will this trend ever end? Before entering the game, the system asked him, Subaru Narukami Love donated 1,000 reputation points. Congratulations on reaching the 3rd floor. How do you feel right now? Being interviewed suddenly, Subaru didn't know how to answer. My feelings. He thought back to the past in this very place. I'm here. Back then, a woman had asked Subaru, "Excuse me?" He turned around instinctively, surprised. Yes? Remembering it now, Subaru felt a bit nostalgic. It was Raina. She looked extremely unapproachable back then. She scratched her head, awkwardly explaining, "I just lost my team." Raina reached out, describing a height similar to Subaru's. "Have you seen a guy about this tall?" Hearing her description, he rubbed his chin and thought, "He's a head taller than me." As if remembering something, Subaru told her, "Yes, I've seen him." Raina exclaimed in joy, "Really?" He pointed into the empty space. He went that way. Raina believed him and started to follow. "Thank you so much." She ran over there like a naive child. Then she stopped and looked around as if searching for someone. After spinning around a few times, Raina stopped and locked eyes with Subaru. Finally, Subaru decided to guide Raina. "Let's go together. I'm heading that way anyway." That day, Raina was overjoyed and shouted, "Wait, really? Are you sure?" He nodded and walked ahead. "Yeah, I don't have anything to do today anyway." She immediately ran after him to chat. "That's much better. Standing here is so confusing." "I'm Huka Zina. What's your name?" At that time, he answered Narukami. Subaru wondered if everyone from back then was still alive. Back in reality, the system panel still displayed the question about his feelings. Subaru's gaze became sharper and steely. Staring into the void, he replied, "It feels like I've lost something important." The dense netizens teased him. What's he saying all of a sudden? Is it because he left Pelus behind? Why so emotional? To avoid being disturbed during the next phase, Subaru decided to turn off the device. He said goodbye to everyone as usual. The next stream will be a collaboration with Hawkeye. They were a bit regretful. "Wait, it's over. That was short. Hey, explain the history first." Finally, the system concluded. Subaru Narukami has ended the live stream. In a large and luxurious room, the chandelier shone brightly. A hand was suddenly placed on the table where Subaru was sitting. "Sorry to keep you waiting." John stood opposite him, looking down. "Asuka is on her way right now. Unlike climbing through challenges, traveling between floors takes time." He smiled brightly and reached out for a handshake. "Pleasure to meet you. I'm John Teo from Southern Entertainment." Subaru found it a bit annoying. Recalling what she had said, he really did jump. "What a chatty boss." John didn't hear clearly and asked with a puzzled face. Subaru shook his hand and replied, "No, I heard my manager mention you. Nice to meet you." John smiled again and sat down opposite him. "Normally, I'd ask Asuka to relay this, but I wanted to meet you. Dixon has only praised a player that highly twice, so I was curious." Subaru was a bit surprised to hear that. "Twice?" He explained. "The first time goes without saying." As soon as John mentioned that person's name, he froze. Narukami Subaru of Blue Eye. He crossed his arms and lowered his head. "It surprised me. That harsh judge had his eyes on you." A man bearing the same name as Narukami Subaru. He scratched his head and smiled awkwardly. "I wouldn't know about that. Allow me to ask a sudden question." Before Subaru could speak, John cut him off. "Are you interested in the guild named Blue Eye?" Subaru was stunned, his eyes widening as he looked at him. Seeing that reaction, John reached into his pocket. "That reaction? Seems like you're not entirely uninterested." Subaru asked, puzzled. "Why do you suddenly ask that?" He took out a device and looked down. "Actually, that's part of the reason I wanted to meet you." John placed the device in front of Subaru. 5 days from now. This is the grand prize of a tournament being held on the 3rd floor. The light from the screen reflected on Subaru's face. "Are you kidding me?" Sparks began to emit from his hand under the table. "This is..." Raina held her device, which displayed the notification. Narukami Subaru has ended the live stream. She sighed and spoke. "It's over." Raina turned and walked into the forest. "I wonder if the other matter is over too." Her high heels rustled against the grassy ground. She walked to an area covered in a layer of white snow. The deeper she went, the thicker the snow became. Raina walked up behind Seeger and asked, "Is it finished?" He turned his head, his breath forming white mist. "It's been over for a while." Puzzled, she scolded him. "Then what were you doing just now?" He turned his head away. "I was contemplating." In front of him was a person frozen in an attacking stance. Further away, a group of people were also frozen just like that. Should I kill them or let them go? Raina stated her opinion decisively. "Just kill them. We know who sent them." He still hesitated and refused. We can't be sure yet, that's why I'm contemplating. Seeger lowered his head slightly. If it was Kyozo, if he sent them, he wouldn't have used small fry like this. Hearing that, she sighed. But even if we let them go, problems will arise. While Seeger was rambling, a light radiated from Raina's body. If our location is exposed because of them. Sharp ice spikes rose from beneath the snow. She raised her arm, controlling them to hover in the air. Raina's hand remained still, and the spikes stayed motionless. She flicked her fingers forward, and the upright spikes pointed towards the targets. Her face remained expressionless as she stared at the group of people. Seeing that, Seeger shouted in panic, "Hey!" He turned his whole body to look at her. "Stop." As soon as the words left his mouth, the barrage of spikes shot forward, piercing through the frozen people. Their bodies were impaled through the joints. No one could escape that sudden downpour. When it stopped, only a chaotic mess remained on the ground. Seeger asked loudly with a worried face, "What are you doing?" Raina kept a determined expression. "Whether Kyozo sent them or not, if we let them go, they'll know we're still alive. Your hesitation really isn't good. You need to be more ruthless." He turned away, avoiding her gaze. "You're right. I'm sorry." Suddenly, the device in Seeger's pocket beeped. He reached in to take it out. Seeger held the screen up to Raina's face. "Look at this." She angrily grabbed the device and screamed. "What the hell is this?" Raina was shaking with rage, her eyes glowing red. "Those bastards." Seeger calmly crossed his arms. "Infuriating, isn't it?" She replied with trembling hands. "Of course it is." Raina looked at the shoes on the screen again and shouted, "Because those are Soyama's shoes." He took the device back from her hand. "This is bait, a trap to lure us in." Hearing Seeger speak, veins popped on her forehead. He realized that we're still alive somewhere. But that doesn't mean we'll stand by and watch. We have to get those items back. Raina turned away in sadness. "I know what you're going to say." His brow furrowed slightly. "I'm not good at covert operations. But you've always been good at that sort of thing, right?" She immediately turned to leave. "You're stating the obvious, even if you didn't say it." "I intended to handle it myself." Seeger hurriedly grabbed Raina's arm. "Wait." He quickly stopped her. "I'm not saying you should rush in recklessly. Wait until the winner is decided, then make your move. That's the safest method." Back in the room, John held up the photo of the shoes and spoke cheerfully. "A relic of a Blue Eye member. Item, Talaria. This is the reward Blue Eye is offering for this tournament." He intended to invite him. "Are you interested?" Subaru quickly cut him off. "I am." The atmosphere around him became extremely suffocating. John smiled but felt a bit awkward. "That's good to hear. I didn't expect you to be this interested. This plan depends entirely on whether you agree or not, Narukami." Hearing that, he paused slightly. "Plan," then he returned to his normal state and calmly explained. "Considering you broadcast under the name Narukami Subaru, I thought a storyline revolving around chasing the relic of Rake would create compelling content for Blue Eye." After hearing him speak, the face behind the mask was furious. "How dare you?" Subaru's hands clenched until they trembled, power constantly radiating from him. Using Soyama's relic as a marketing gimmick. John noticed his state and asked worriedly, "Is something wrong? Is there something bothering you?" Subaru said nothing, replying in a cold voice, "Let's do it." Although still a bit worried, John looked relieved. "Really? That's great." He stood up and pulled out his chair. "Then I'll be going now." John looked up at him from his seat. "Yes, I look forward to working with you." As Subaru walked away, John called out loudly from behind, "I'll always be cheering for you from behind my screen." However, he didn't hear a thing. Anger and rage had invaded Subaru's mind. "I won't let anyone else have it. Absolutely not." Back in his room, he lay on the bed staring at the ceiling. Subaru frowned slightly and thought, "I wonder what format the tournament will follow." Then he turned to face the wall. "I'd appreciate it if it were a solo competition. Though it seems I'm not in a position to be picky." Suddenly, a voice rang out from outside the door. It's Hasuka." Hearing that, Subaru quickly sat up from the bed. He glanced at the mask on the table. Subaru's eyes revealed a look of contemplation and hesitation. Then, he walked over and opened the door. Greeting him was her gentle, lovely appearance. Hasuka looked shyly towards Subaru's face. It turned out that in that moment of hesitation, he chose to wear the mask, causing Hasuka to think, he wears a mask even in his own room. Then, Subaru invited her come in. Hearing that, she blushed to her ears, stammering, "Yes? You mean I should come inside?" Subaru didn't realize how easily his words could be misunderstood, so he innocently replied, "If you prefer, we can talk in the hallway. I don't mind." Hasuka was equally flustered. "Oh no. but she boldly chose to step in. Then, please excuse the intrusion. Inside the room, the atmosphere was strangely stifling. Neither was willing to speak first. Hasuka rolled her eyes, looking around. She thought to herself about the room. It's really empty. After observing for a while, she finally looked straight at Subaru. He had been staring at Hasuka the whole time, pondering. The depth of her magic power is unfathomable. Clearly, she's not someone who should just be a manager. Being stared at by a man like that, Hasuka felt a bit embarrassed. She hurriedly adjusted her clothes and asked, "Is something wrong? Is there something on my face?" Subaru explained, "No, it's just that you weren't saying anything. I heard you have reference materials for the tournament." Hasuka had almost forgotten the main business, so she hurriedly pulled out a file of papers. "Oh, sorry." She handed it to him, saying, "The tournament this time applies a battle royale format. It's a simple system where everyone fights to claim the grand prize. Thousands of people will have to fight each other ruthlessly. The outcome could be victory. But you could also return to Mother Earth at any moment." Subaru read through it briefly and commented, "So it is a solo competition?" Hasuka replied, "That's right. Since there's only one prize, naturally it ends up like that." She excitedly added, "The location will be a virtual training ground. Participation requirement is being a third-floor player. Registration fee is 1,000 reputation points. And there's no limit on the number of participants. I'll send documents on previous battle royals to your kit, Narukami. Just skim through, and you'll get the gist of it." While she was speaking, Subaru's phone vibrated again. The notification received was, "Compilation of God-tier battle royale moments of Narukami Subaru. Narukami Subaru's undefeated battle royale route. Narukami Subaru's battle royale matches ending in 10 seconds. Narukami Subaru. How he became Narukami Subaru in battle royale." Finishing reading, he thought to himself, "It's all about me." Returning to the conversation, he put the stack of papers aside and said, "I'll use them as reference material. Thanks for your hard work." Hasuka scratched her head, replying politely, "It's nothing. This is my job after all." Then she asked about another issue. Also, have you heard anything from the leader?" Subaru didn't understand, so he asked back, "Heard what?" Hasuka replied, "Actually, we received a message." As soon as she uttered the words from Blue Eye, Subaru was stunned for a moment. He suddenly remembered the man named Itsuki. In an instant, his whole body radiated furious killing intent. He asked again, "You said, from Blue Eye?" Hasuka explained, "He said he wants to meet you once, since there's no way to contact you directly. They emailed us." Hearing that, Subaru was surprised. "They've already started contacting me?" She stammered a bit. "Maybe he plans to negotiate directly, offering higher pay than us, better benefits, and many other conditions." Subaru clenched his hand into a fist and said, "Ignore it." Hasuka hurriedly replied, "Yes, I understand. Wait, ignore it." Subaru said bluntly, "I have no intention of joining Blue Eye. The same goes for other guilds." Suddenly, Hasuka jumped up and raised her hands in celebration. Yes, what a relief." She smiled happily. "I was very torn about whether to tell you or not, but I'm glad I did." Speaking as she gently moved to the door, "Well then, enjoy your time until the collaboration." Seeing her leave like that, Subaru muttered, "She's celebrating as if it's her own achievement." He took off his mask and said with amusement, "A normal employee who is this dedicated to the company's work. She really is an extraordinary person." The scene shifted to a stadium, where the figures were chatting. It was John and Hawkeye, both whispering as if discussing a plan. John opened first. "So today's project is this, a talent comparison test, Narukami Subaru. The old version versus the new." Hawkeye asked, "Well, sounds interesting, right?" John crossed his arms and replied, "A direct confrontation with your own claim. It's a bold approach, but if you lose, it will be a massive blow to you. You understand that, right?" Hawkeye didn't look concerned. In fact, he showed that he welcomed it. "I welcome that, because there will be results. I have to accept whatever happens to gain the viewer's trust." Then Hawkeye's eyes lit up, asking confidently, "But have I ever fought a losing battle?" John laughed, arrogant indeed. "Ultimately, everything depends on Narukami." Hawkeye scratched his head. "I guess so." Suddenly, the sound of high heels approached, interrupting the conversation. "Chief." It was Hasuka and Subaru. She walked over, smiling. "Great work today." John responded warmly, "Hello." Meeting Subaru, Hawkeye was extremely excited inside. An opportunity to become a rising star in the sky. "I finally get to meet you." Subaru looked around, thinking, "This place is really huge. Did you rent it privately?" At that moment, Hawkeye reached out his hand and spoke up, "Hello there." Then he smiled and introduced himself. "I'm streamer Hawkeye." He extended his hand. I'm Narukami Subaru. I look forward to working with you. He scratched his head awkwardly. Wow? It feels like meeting the real Narukami Subaru in person. Meeting the main character of today moves me so much. I'm a fan. A hardcore fan, Subaru hurriedly explained. I'm still just a rookie streamer. I can't compare to you, Hawkeye. John stepped in to interrupt. All right, save the pleasantries for after the stream starts. That's how streamers get to know each other. Hawkeye suggested. Then let's continue this on stream. The system panel immediately appeared. Hawkeye had started a live broadcast. He looked at the screen, waving and smiling. Hello everyone, Hawkeye here. Thanks for tuning in today. Right then, status panels popped up consecutively. A mischievous thought appeared in Hawkeye's mind. I heard the collab announcement was hot in the community, but 12,000 viewers right at the start? He raised his voice. Today is the moment you've all been waiting for. I've invited that person here. His foot immediately stepped onto the stage. Hawkeye introduced. Ta-da! It is Narukami Subaru. He responded. Hello everyone. Narukami Subaru here. The information board constantly displayed notifications, and he responded to comments. No, I haven't seen his face either. I heard even his manager hasn't. Narukami, have a secret. Subaru scratched his face and replied, it's not like that. Besides, I'm handsome. Hawkeye was surprised by the massive community interaction regarding Subaru. He thought, hey, this is getting more lively than my own streams. Indeed, the level of influence far exceeded expectations. Subaru continued to enthusiastically respond to viewers. He said, sorry, but I won't lose to any of you. We're not fighting, it's just a friendly exchange. Hawkeye mentally exclaimed, his ability to respond is even better than I thought. On the side, Subaru continued answering, girlfriend? No. Friends? None either. Currently. Hearing the important news, Hasuka exhaled in pure joy, leaving John helpless. A moment later, they both spoke up. All right, let's stop teasing our important guest. Let's get to the main event. Following the cue, the system announced, the challenge will begin right now. Suddenly, the lights were instantly turned on. The monster golems gradually activated. Looking at the thousands upon thousands of golems waiting to rush into battle, Hawkeye calmly presented. Why did I choose this challenge? I'll explain. On one side, their feet began to move slowly. On the other, he started to answer. There are two reasons. First, it's purely to measure control capabilities. Then he hinted. And the second reason is, I can prove whether what I said is true or not right here, right now. On this side, Subaru received a notification. Kekich sent 100 reputation points. Do you seriously think you can beat it? Subaru calmly replied. If I wasn't confident, I wouldn't have accepted the offer in the first place. The screen quickly displayed the participants preparing to compete. Comments popped up. I can feel his confidence, haha. Is he really going to break the record in just one go? Comments popped up. Probably. I'm so nervous. Spirit. Subaru's palm unconsciously tightened as he stood in the center. System notification. Mucho Spicy has assigned you a mission. If you kill 43 plus in one run, reward 10,000 reputation points. If you lose, reveal your face on camera. Subaru hesitated, raising his hand. No, it's too early for me to risk taking off my mask. System notification. Matt Fetus has assigned a mission. I also want to see your face. Sending 2,000 points. Mouth Thinking Toilet donated 3,000 reputation points. Do it. Lava Bits added 3,000 points to make it interesting. You have been assigned a mission. Subaru raised a finger. Thanks for the gifts. I promise to reveal my face if I fail. Comments popped up. You didn't plan to refuse from the start, did you? Oh my god, only the rookie has to suffer the penalty, yet he gets a share of the mission reward. Hawkeye smiled. Yeah, that's right. With this mission, all reputation points will belong to Narukami. He quickly set the timer. Alright, let's get started. His finger finally pressed the button. It's showtime. The timer on the screen immediately began counting. The golems quickly leaped into the air, preparing to attack. Subaru's eyes suddenly sharpened without a hint of fear, activating his thunder. His body quickly rushed toward the golems. Subaru's arm was enveloped in powerful electricity. His palm immediately grabbed a golem's face. In the blink of an eye, he easily took one down. Kill count, 1. Comments popped up. 1 hit. He didn't even use the demon's sword yet. Too easy. Hawkeye's eyes widened in surprise. I can't believe I'm witnessing the thunder firsthand. Subaru's sturdy hand quickly gripped the sword hilt. With just one maneuver, he easily knocked down countless golems. System notification, time to 39. Comments popped up. This guy is too fast. Theoretically, at this speed, he'll reach 70 kills. But it gets harder. Countless golems with sharp eyes stared him down. They began to rush in frantically and intensely. Subaru's foot quickly kicked straight into a golem's face. 203. His body was now hovering in midair. Comments popped up. Oh my god, the legendary scene is being recreated. Is that gravity manipulation? Aerial combat is Ogre Subaru's specialty. The golems simultaneously looked up, then down. Subaru's palm quickly spun the sword hilt skillfully. Finally, he gripped the hilt tightly and raised it high. In an instant, Subaru quickly drove it straight into the ground. With his powerful innate ability, bolts of lightning radiated into the surroundings. 1 hour 22 minutes and 26 seconds. The tip of the blade was encased in electricity. Comments popped up. So cool. The people next to him were watching the match intently. Comments popped up. He'll definitely take second place. Or maybe he'll actually do it. Condolences to everyone who assigned him the mission. Hawkeye's eyes suddenly froze at the scene unfolding before him. The timeline was shortening on the bright screen. Subaru was still fighting frantically, uncontrollably. In a split second, a golem's body was sliced in two. 42. Subaru tried to stand firm, gasping for breath continuously. 005. He finally returned to his initial stance with sharp eyes. 003. Before him appeared countless golems holding weapons. Subaru's feet gathered momentum to sprint forward. 002. The blade tip instantly pierced through the golem's neck. 001. The time on the screen was gradually running out. The number finally returned to the starting position. System notification, challenge ended. Total kills, 43. Record updated. The system announced with a long text, first place, Narukami Subaru. Comments popped up, 43, insane result. No way, I didn't expect this. He was only one short. Oh wait, oh my god. This is a historic moment. Lightning. Hawkeye rushed over. 43. You tied with Narukami Subaru. It's a draw. That was so close. What does everyone think? Comments popped up. That gave me goosebumps. I thought he'd only reach ranked by luck. I thought ranked was already hard. Thought he was just a random mob. Rumpling gifted you 100 reputation points. I was so scared I peed my pants. Subscribed. Hawkeye laughed. Thanks for the 100 reputation points. Rumbling comments popped up. Fitzgibber HICE gifted to 100 points. Flattering you for that reason? Hawkeye replied. Is it you again? Writing Weeper Heist 100 times? Please change your username. Anyway, thanks for the reputation points. Comments popped up. Mushroom Village gifted you 1,000 reputation points. Hawkeye scratched his head. You're asking if this is Narukami Subaru's livestream. No, it's not. Comments popped up. B&H gifted you 10,000 reputation points. Suddenly, Hawkeye's eyes froze at the name that appeared, Reinhardt. Comments popped up. Seriously, is that Reinhardt? Probably a fake. Why would the 1/swordsman be here? What if it's true? It is true. A big name entered the chat. Mid-tier at best, doesn't matter. Hawkeye scratched his head awkwardly. Reinhardt, thanks for the 10,000 reputation points. I can't believe a high ranker is watching this stream. Subaru thought. The 1/swordsman? Suddenly, the image of Dale appeared in his mind. Comments popped up. Reinhardt gifted you 1,000 reputation points. I always watch your streams. Narukami Subaru's run inspired me. Oh my god, Hawkeye actually did it. Hawkeye smiled. Really? I'm honored. Subaru glanced to the side. Why is he watching this stream? Could he know what I did to Isaac? Comments popped up. Reinhardt gifted you 1,000 reputation points. I always watch your streams. Narukami Subaru, will you collaborate with me? Suddenly, his eyes froze as he looked at the screen. Comments popped up. Yo, this new guy is really moving up. I knew he'd get famous. Subaru didn't answer, only scratching his head awkwardly. John and Hasuka simultaneously signaled for him to agree. Subaru hesitated and said, I have to focus on the challenges first, so I'll have to refuse. John and Hasuka's eyes widened in surprise. Subaru immediately bowed. Sorry, I used too much energy. Hawkeye, could you wrap this up for me? He fumbled, What? Hawkeye watched Subaru's retreating figure. No, wait, Narukami. John spoke hurriedly. Narukami, why did you turn him down? That was a massive opportunity to boost your streamer career. Hasuka added, I'm shocked too. Subaru replied casually, is it that important? John looked bewildered. Collaborating with a ranker, especially a high ranker, almost never happens. He responded blankly, is that all? If becoming a ranker is that important, then I'll just become a ranker myself. After speaking, Subaru just stood looking at Hasuka and John. Suddenly, Hawkeye spoke up, breaking the tense atmosphere. Narukami as expected. That was an excellent performance. When the revenue comes in, I'll send your share. By the way, since the stream has ended, can I ask you something? When you were fighting earlier, you gave me a different feeling. Like you weren't in your best state. Were you injured or something? Subaru thought to himself. So Hawkeye realized it too. I thought I hit it pretty well. But it seems he really lives up to his name. Whether I won or lost, it would have caused me trouble. Hawkeye smiled. Caused you trouble? Subaru lowered his voice. The highlight of the stream was whether I could surpass Narukami Subaru or not. That is where the growth is shown. If I didn't win today, sure, I'd get a temporary hit. But the fever surrounding that confrontation would plummet. And if I lost, people would just say, well, he's no match for the real Narukami Subaru anyway. So, in this test, I needed a result where both characters stood on equal ground. That's why it was a draw. That was the only favorable option. Hawkeye stammered, so you mean, if you wanted to, you could have surpassed him. Subaru stepped to the side. Who knows? We can't change the result now. It all depends on how everyone interprets it. Elsewhere, a hand filled with rage slammed a fist down. A flag with a lion symbol slowly appeared. A man had smashed the table in two. That character was none other than the rank 121 Golden Lion Guild Master, Reinhardt. He spoke with hostility. That insolent brat. The fallen phone displayed the notification that the viewer had left the live stream. Now Kang-hee, hearing the noise outside, rushed into the room. Master Reinhardt. He scowled. What is it? Hearing that, the blood rushed to Reinhardt's head. He gritted his teeth. It's that Subaru Narukami you mentioned. Kang-hee asked, the streamer, right? Reinhardt replied, yeah, that's Subaru Narukami. That brat refused my offer. Kang-hee confusedly flattered him. How arrogant of him to refuse an offer from you, sir. Sir. Before he could finish, Reinhardt continued. I planned to crush him in front of everyone and extinguish those annoying rumors. But now everything is ruined. I don't care about the reputation points I spent. What angers me is that a nameless rookie dared to damage my pride. Kang-hee didn't answer, silently going to pick up the phone from the floor. Then he respectfully presented it to Reinhardt. Your phone, sir. He snatched the phone back, simultaneously asking, how is the matter I asked you about? He scratched his head, replying hesitantly, if you mean Isaac. We are still searching as hard as we can. But well, disappearing for a few days at his age isn't exactly unprecedented. Before he could finish his sentence, Kang-hee's neck was gripped by an invisible hand. He was lifted into the air, his face turning purple in agony. Reinhardt questioned coldly, are you planning to insult me too? Kang-hee struggled to reply, But he couldn't continue as the air was being drained from him. Tears and snot streaming down his face. Then, Reinhardt waved his hand, and Kang-hee's body moved with it. He was thrown to the side, crashing into the wall and cracking it. Kang-hee was dizzy, and before he could get his bearings, Reinhardt stepped forward and spoke, since when did you start scrutinizing my orders? Sensing the murderous intent, Kang-hee hurriedly clasped his hands and begged, please forgive me. I will continue the search immediately. Switching scenes, the phone was ringing with a call from the boss. Hasuka looked at it with a haggard face, looking too bored to answer. However, when she picked up, she had to fake it. Yes, hello, good evening, department head. John's voice from the other end rang out reproachfully. Does my call annoy you that much? Where is your energy? What's with that tired voice? At least talk to me like you talked to Narukami. She thought to herself. Here we go again. John continued, we've built trust over many years, even if it's just work now. Back then, we used to be. Hasuka suddenly interrupted. You're calling to suggest collaborating with Reinhardt, aren't you? John replied, yeah, damn it, exactly. We can't let an opportunity like this slip away. Hasuka asked sadly, but what can we do? John reassured her, I know, but he's still a streamer. He knows this is a big opportunity. Why don't you try persuading him one more time as his manager? Hearing that, she stated seriously, Narukami Subaru cares more about climbing the tower than collaborating. Honestly, a player thinking like that is correct. John argued back from his side, my god. You only get excited when you argue with me. A moment later, Hasuka announced, I'm hanging up now. John only managed to plead, hey wait. But she ignored him and hung up immediately. Hasuka pondered. Although I talk tough, it really would be a big opportunity for him. So she boldly knocked on the door, Narukami, while encouraging herself. Maybe I'll try one more time. Suddenly, the door swung open, startling her. Subaru spoke up, Hasuka. Seeing he was still wearing the mask, she asked, do you always wear that mask? Subaru replied, for now, yes, it makes me feel more comfortable. Then he asked, are you curious about my real face too? As if hit by the truth, Hasuka stammered. Yes, no. Then she tried to cover it up. Well, the mask does make viewers associate you with Narukami Subaru. Obviously you are Narukami Subaru, but someday, you might have to reveal your face. Suddenly he asked, why is everyone so obsessed with Narukami Subaru? Hasuka thought seriously, then explained, I can think of a few reasons. Like him being an earthling with monstrous stats, or the fact that just existing makes him cool. But most importantly, Narukami Subaru is our hope. He still seemed puzzled and didn't understand, asking again, what do you mean? Hasuka recalled past memories and recounted, you might not know this story. Like when I first came to the tower, there was almost nothing there. Monsters were everywhere. There was nothing to eat, no way to make money. Stability was just an illusion. There was only one way to survive, and that was to climb. If you climb, you earn reputation points. With points, you can settle down and live in peace. And bit by bit, people started to believe this world could actually be ours. Back then, the greatest players gave us hope that we could conquer this tower, that we could settle in this world. And the person standing above them all was Narukami Subaru. His achievement wasn't just about climbing the tower. He was the first to prove it was possible. Returning to reality, Subaru asked skeptically, you think so too? Hasuka leaned in mischievously and replied vaguely, that's a secret. Just like the face behind your mask. Maybe one day I'll tell you. So, he changed the subject, opening the door and politely inviting Hasuka. Anyway, you came here for business, right? Sorry for asking so many questions. Let's talk inside. Hearing that, Hasuka blushed and hurriedly waved her hands. It's not a big deal. I'm leaving now. Good night. Saying that, she turned and left. Subaru just stood there watching her disappear. Hasuka sighed in relief on the other side, thinking, after rambling on like that, I didn't even want to persuade him anymore. Why does he keep trying to invite me into his room? It makes my heart pound. Subaru still stood at the door, muttering, hope, huh? Switching to a white room, the system sound rang out. Good to see you again. Subaru Narukami love. Thanks for the 1,000 reputation points. He replied, I hope we win today too. Mission villain. The system displayed information. Golden Lion gifted you 500 reputation points. You really don't plan to collaborate with Lord Reinhardt. Yggdrasil 3 gifted you 5,000 reputation points. Nice to meet you. I'm Mondo from the Yggdrasil Guild. I have something important to discuss. Are you free? On the livestream screen, Subaru sighed. Viewers also commented constantly, asking about his upcoming decision. Which side are you planning to join on the 3rd floor? Or are you going solo again? He thought to himself, that collaboration is crazy. Viewers and donations are pouring in. At this rate, I want to give everyone what they want, and they give me reputation points. As he was thinking, the system popped up announcing the initialization of the 3rd floor challenge. The panel displayed two options for Subaru to click, Kingdom of Ottoman and Kingdom of Conrad. Faction changes were almost everything in this floor's challenge, since they hated each other. Subaru's mission would change depending on the faction he joined. Finally, the system displayed Subaru's choice. You have selected the Kingdom of Conrad. Only about 3% of players chose Conrad, and there was a reason for that. 3rd floor. Kingdom of Conrad, the resting place of mercenaries. As soon as he entered, a man noticed him. Vulture was filled with excitement. A newbie, just in time. I was getting bored. So he stepped closer, appearing to have ill intentions. Just as the two passed each other, Vulture shoved Subaru's shoulder hard. Unexpectedly, he didn't fall, but instead shoved back. It forced Vulture to twist his feet to regain his balance on the floor. Done with that, Subaru passed by like the wind, ignoring Vulture's malicious gaze. He shouted loudly, watch where you're going. But inside, he silently marveled at Subaru. He's too strong. Seeing him turn back, Vulture pushed his luck, craning his neck to scold him. What's wrong with you? Subaru replied calmly and concisely, you're the one with the problem. You bumped into me on purpose. Hearing that, Vulture's ego was bruised. He rushed over, grabbing his collar and cursing, you brat. You're clearly a mediocre E-rank. How dare you talk back to a B-rank? People around them turned to watch the drama. Huh? A fight? Who's the newbie? Vulture is bullying an E-rank again. Subaru said nonchalantly, B-rank. Perfect for me to test something. Vulture was confused. Understand? Huh? Test what? Before he could finish, thunder gathered around Subaru's leg. He immediately raised his knee high. Let's do this. A vicious strike to the opponent's lower jaw gave Vulture a unique, jagged set of teeth. Afterward, he went motionless, letting himself be kicked flying through the air as a souvenir. The result was him lying flat on the floor. shocking everyone. Huh? What just happened? He went flying. I just saw a flash of light. Maybe he was sick. Even if he was sick, he wouldn't fly back like that. In the noisy crowd, a man had his eyes on Subaru. The others rushed forward aggressively, planning to finish him off. No, he kicked Vulture. I saw it. Why isn't E-Rank showing off? You bastard. I'll tear that mask off your face, skin and all. Soon, Subaru was surrounded by a mob. One of them said savagely, "This will be your grave, newbie." He remained silent, his gaze sharp and observant. After a bout of fighting, the result was the whole group beaten black and blue or killed. The initial aggressive momentum was replaced by fear. What the hell is he? He's not human. Just then, a person approached to strike up a conversation. "Young man, you're strong." He extended his hand to introduce himself. "My name is Dimon. I am an appraiser.